Hello there, everybody. How are we all doing? We are. I've just noticed. Oh my gosh. Anyway, hello everyone. Welcome to the third session of the Anbennar DevClash. We're just getting all of the devs in and getting ready to go, and we will get going. Today I have no Fatherlorris because he is, I think he's at his parents or busy or something along those lines, and also he won't be here next week either. So it's just me, but that's fine, right? Not a problem. We can cast alone. I won't get lonely. Because of course we'll have some more developer interviews. We'll see who we want to go and talk to. I got a couple of people who I would like to grab and have a chat with. And also if there are any, questions from chat that we can get for them as well, that'd be great. I think at some point we'll be talking to Cargoin, who is playing Caridia, because of course that nation needed renaming. And also, I believe we'll also be chatting with one of the developer leads of the Yin region, so that could be pretty cool. But of course, we just need to filter everyone in. We've got 36 players so far. I think we're looking for like 50-ish. So we'll see how that goes. Also, I would like to talk to River Doge, who's playing as Ingani, and have a chat about his teleporting shenanigans. That'll be very interesting as well. But yeah, we're going to be starting in 5 minutes, and then people who come late are able to hot join in groups, so that should be fine. But yeah, I'm excited for this. I've been really enjoying casting recently, and especially when we've got the devs playing, and they're actually, they're more decent at the game than I was expecting, right? Because this might be, I don't know. I do quite a lot of multiplayer Anbennar, and I've seen some very sweaty players. And when I was told about this DevClash, I was told, well, some of these players, they're not very used to multiplayer. They develop the mod, but developing a mod that is primarily designed for single player and then playing in a multiplayer is kind of a different kettle of fish. But I've been pleasantly surprised by just how competent everyone has been. So that's nice. And yeah, I mean, obviously we know Wagensu. He's played with us before. He's a very competent player. But yeah, no, I'm very happy. Very happy. I'm pretty sure that's not Beagle Torin's nation. I think he should be on Seriand. Unless he's actually specifically moved tag. Maybe he's letting Bersartentious from the Phoenix Empire. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, team-wise, these all of the devs are separated into separate teams. The artists have got their own team. Writers have got their own team. Canor lead, the Hales lead. All of these different teams in the game, and there are various alliances between teams as well. The Wiki team has just announced that they're allied to Canor. And so Canor is allied to the Wiki team and the North Elantir team. Forbidden Plains team is allied to Hales, and doesn't necessarily mean that all of the people who are on the Forbidden Plains team are playing in the Forbidden Plains, because that's not the case. But yeah, teams are a thing in this multiplayer. That is slightly confusing. I'm not gonna lie. Let me pull up my cheat sheet as well, so we can have a look also at the teams. Because we should be knowing. Should have them at hand. There we go. So yeah. There we go. Lovely stuff. What map is this? This is the Anbennar map. You can find it on the Steam Workshop. Just use !Anbennar in chat, and you'll get a link to it there. It's fantasy world. If you are unaware of what Anbennar is, it's a fantasy world that is loosely based on D&D races and such. So we have, you know, your fantasy tropes of elves. We've got your fantasy tropes of dwarves in the mountains, orcs and goblins. We have centaurs. We have lion people. The Rabbi Gekker there is the Haramari, which are like lion people. There are lizard folk. Down here we got gnomes and halflings. What else have we got? Trolls, naturally. Gotta have your trolls in there. And ogres. There's wood elves in the forest. There's vampires. There's a whole lot of people. Tiger people. My apologies. Yes, they're tiger people. They're not lion people. My bad. So yeah, gnolls as well. We've got a sizable gnoll population in the deserts here. And yeah, a whole lot besides. A whole lot besides. So yeah, it's a custom fantasy world that I very much enjoy. And humans are everywhere. Yeah, humans are absolutely everywhere. Sorry, I should have mentioned, yeah. If generally, unless it's got a race name in its culture, like Great Orc, Forest Troll, Plains Centaur, if it doesn't have something like that, then generally they're human. I think there are some exceptions in the in Elantia. All of these guys are like ruin-born elves. Elves that kind of went a bit corrupted. But generally in this continent, if you don't have a race name in your culture, then you are a human. So there's quite a few different types of humans, of course. And yeah, it's pretty cool. Of course, the Anbennar is also using the EU4 start date as the date of when it starts, so 1444. But instead of it being 1444 years after, you know, religious prophet, blah 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 stuff, instead it is 1444 years after Ash, which is when a cataclysmic explosion happened in this continent, which formed this very circular, you know, formation. And what happened was a giant floating city crashed right here, and everything exploded, and that's what caused the Ruined-born. Caused a bunch of elves to sail across the water, to land mostly in Bulwar. There's a sizable elven population in Canor as well. In northern Canor, Selmaldor is elven. And so that's how elves came to this continent, and then the ones that stayed here got very corrupted in various different ways. Like the elves that stayed down here, because of this blue desert, they're all blue. All these elves are blue. There was some here that turned into leeches, so they got like leech mouths. The ones that are here very much went very seasonal. So we have things. Maybe if I look at the religion map mode. That's not that's the Imperial map. There we go, religion. We have like autumn elves and then spring elves. Winter ones, and you know, they kind of split up in that kind of way. But yeah, they all kind of just got corrupted in various different ways. We are not playing a country. I am observing. I am casting this multiplayer, and we'll get some developer interviews as we play, just to get a bit of a feel for what the devs have in order for their nations and for the future of the mod. Because, of course, this is the DevClash, and all of the people playing are developers on this wonderful mod. Which is very cool indeed. We are supposed to be starting about 3 minutes ago, so we'll see what happens. Start as soon as loading is finished for people. Maybe just Trin, we're waiting on then. You never seen D&D IRL, so you don't know this. Well, this isn't D&D's world. Like, D&D's world is called Faerun. It's very different. But there are inspirations, and of course, with D&D, a big part of it is creating your own world and your own narratives to share stories with your friends. This is originally created by a guy called J-Bean. It was originally a mod for EU4. It was made for EU4, but he also used it in his university dissertation, which is, I think, really cool. And so yeah, there's just an ungodly amount of time and effort and love that's gone into making this mod, and the people who make it are super passionate about it, which it really shows. Some of the more unique things are the likes of, what would be the best way of showing it? Here in the mountains here, we've got caves and roadways leading to various dwarven holds, which is, I think, one of the most unique things that I've seen about this mod, is this serpent spine, which runs basically throughout the entire map. It goes from here in Ovdal something, no, Verkal Dromak, my bad. From Verkal Dromak all the way to Kugdir, which is, you know, it's super cool. I love it. And the dwarves and the orcs and the goblins that play in the mountains, just they play in such a different way to anybody else in the world, which is, you know, it's very unique. Let me pull up my chats. There we go. Oh, another one has joined. Can you take the empty land? Yes, if you are, for example, we have here Shadow Dreamer, which is an orc nation. They're currently colonizing the roadway, and he will be trying to colonize his way to the likes of Hehodovar, which is named after, I think, the original Serpent Spine lead, and also Segdir, because these provinces are way, way more developed. 28 development, even though it's uncolonized. 21 development, way more developed than the rest of the roadways and the caves. These are very, very highly desirable provinces. 70 development in Ovdal Kanzep, which I believe is being played by a player. Yes, it is. Being played by Mike. So, yes, you can colonize. There is also colonization going on in the New World. We have the likes of Pearl's Edge, Moonhaven, Venale, Durain, all going to colonize this this new world, which I guess in the context of Anbennar is actually the old world, as the elves sailed from here into this world. But just to keep it simple, I will be calling it the new world, because just for the parallels of our own world and the parallels to vanilla EU4, it makes it a bit easier. There are a lot of countries, yes, there are. Like I say, it's designed as a mod for EU4, so to make it both playable and recognizable, it has a lot of the same elements. So, for example, we have... Oh, hello there, Riverdoge. How you doing?
We're ready, I think.
Ready? Good. Oh, my bad. I forgot to ready up.
It's just I'm the one who can see the channel, so they told me to bug you.
Sorry, that's my bad. I am usually a host in these games, so I forget that readying up is a thing that I also need to do.
You're good. There's like a 50-50 people crash here.
Yeah, I mean...
We have a couple people setting AI, but if we make it through with no crash, you know, it'd be kind of good.
I'll be very happy with that.
I'll let you get back to it. Who did you want to interview first, by the way? I can nag them.
I literally don't mind who goes first. It's all the same to me.
Alright, I'll shotgun out offers. Whoever responds first gets it.
Cool. But yeah, like I was saying, it very much mirrors our own world and mirrors vanilla EU4 to a degree to make it a bit more accessible to people. You don't need to know a whole lot about D&D or fantasy to get in and enjoy Anbennar. For example, in vanilla EU4, you have the Holy Roman Empire, And in Anbennar, you have the Empire of Anbennar, which is empire in the middle of Anbennar. Beautiful. There are some other kind of parallels as well. For example, Laurent is very French-coded. The likes of, well, they're kind of dead now, but in the north here, there was a nation called Bjarnreich, which is very kind of Norse Viking-y coded. And various elements like that. What are the small island nations? So we have a few island nations. We have Venale, which are one of the most interesting nations in the game, in my opinion. Venale are they start as just this island, and I think they also have these couple islands as well. And they are elves. They are moon elves that have come over from the ruin of Elantir. They've sat on their island for a while, and then they decide, you know what, we're going back. So they sail away, they sail back to this continent, and form the nation of Aelna. And they change their name from Moon Elves to Star Elves, and they become really, really racist. There's no way to, like, sugarcoat that. They want to wipe out all of the Ruin-born elves that stayed behind and turn them into batteries. They do have a fantastic, very narrative mission tree that really shocks you in a way. There are some really interesting disasters that also happen. One of them, which is called the Rian Visa, which I don't really want to spoil, but for one thing, they end up getting a queen. I can't remember what her name is, but she's basically Elsa from Frozen. She's an ice queen, and yeah, she's cool as hell. They're not my favorite elves. My favorite elves are actually Bursartenches. This nation is led by Queen Celadora, which I disagree with the spelling that they've changed it to. But Queen Celadora, she forms the Phoenix Empire, hopefully, and that they have some of the most interesting narrative elements in the game, because a lot of Anbennar is mission tree focused. If you're playing a nation that doesn't have a mission tree, you are, I feel, kind of missing out. Because there's just there's a lot of really cool narrative elements that are laid into the mission trees, and it does very much use that system to the biggest potential I think possible. But let us grab ourselves our first interviewee, which is Chronologic. So I'm going to drag him in. Hello there, Chronologic. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am very good as well. Very excited to be playing and casting some more Anbennar. So, first of all, can you tell us who you're playing in the game and what you do in Anbennar? What is your role?
I'm playing Anbencost, but of course renamed the Order of Chroniclers. That was my Easter egg that I wanted to put in, so I'm very happy with it.
Yes, the name Chronologic, and now you're playing Order of Chronicles. I feel like there might be some element of bias going on in there.
It was actually completely coincidental, but it is great. I got my chroniclers. But I'm the wiki lead and a canon reviewer. Canon core / So honestly, I spend most of my time canon reviewing. But when I'm not doing that, I make wiki pages and I review wiki pages. And I just generally move around and dabble in threads and lore. And
that is something I wanted to actually touch on as well, because the wiki has gone through quite a bit of a evolution in the past, say, year or so. What has spurred on this very much more, I don't want to say professional element, but like the change in the wiki? It used to be a lot of the writing there was more. Who was saying it wasn't. There's a word that I'm trying to think of that I can't think of. Unreliable narrator is what it used to
Yeah.
be, but is it still the same, or what has changed recently in the wiki?
So, I guess this kind of ties into how I started doing the wiki. I think I put it on my fact sheet. I don't know, but one day it used to be anyone could get the wiki chronicle role if they asked for it because it was like, why not? It doesn't do anything. And so I think I was in probably off topic or somewhere, and we were talking about it, and I was like, man, I could do pages totally. And so Professor Hen, who used to be a moderator, said, well, I'll give you the role if you go do pages. And I said, sure. So he gave me the role. They gave me a role, and I just kept making pages after that. That was about it. I started making pages and just didn't stop until I got the lead role.
That's cool. So
Before that, then
you just
yeah,
you just make it until it's like, okay, you're the one that's doing this thing the most, so you can have the role that you're already kind of fulfilling anyway.
yeah, I'd basically been the only one making pages, and then Stern and Beppa were probably like the first two who were like, hey, how do I make pages? And I was like, it's so easy. You just ask people for lore and then you write it. And so I was like leading them to write pages, and at that point it was like, might as well just be wiki lead.
So on the wiki now, is this something you have access to, like information wise? How many pages of lore, or just how many pages are there on the wiki now?
I do have access to that number.
Because I think it's fairly
3,000.
it's 3,000.
Something like that. Oh, how do I check? There's some way to check like how many pages there are.
Because I think it is. Everyone knows that there is a lot of depth to Anbennar, and
Oh
a
no.
lot of work has gone in. There's a lot of lore, backstory, a future story, all of this. But I think it does go kind of underappreciated, just the absolute depths of it, and how much there actually is. But yeah, like the putting all of that from getting it from the mission trees, getting it from the events that are in the game, and putting it on the wiki that everybody can read, I think is a really valiant effort.
Oh, thank you. I completely lied, by the way. It's 1,600.
That's still a lot, that's still impressive. Like, you got 4 figures in there for sure. A very impressive a number. So how much time roughly do you spend on making a single page then? Like, what is the process that goes into making these entries into the Wikipedia?
I'd say it really depends. Like earlier, between 9:30 and 10, I got up early. Well, it's 9:30, 10, and 9:30 a.m. Now 10 a.m. for me.
Okay.
But I got up. I don't know if there was someone in the server named Astera who's working on the Cardesti system. I got up at 9:30 before the DevClash, got into a voice call with them, and a bunch of new Cardesti lore just got made. So I was in the voice call with them, and between 9:30 and 10, I wrote 4 new pages.
Okay.
I wrote a page on what the Cardesti curse is. I added new stuff to the Cardesti, and wrote things about 2 new Cardesti characters, or like they were already there, but kind of like fleshed out their lore more.
Okay.
And then somebody else gave me a lore document that I was basically able to just copy and paste into the wiki. So it was 5 pages total. So like those all took me 30 minutes.
Okay, so it's not. I'd say the process doesn't take a lot of time, but there is a lot that still goes into it. Like, obviously you need to get the right information and getting it from the right people, the people who obviously have made this lore, finding them to get the lore from them to put it on the wiki. I suppose there's a process there as well that goes into it.
The chi page and the rending page, those I think took me a month, maybe a bit more, because I was working with making the information. I compiled it, I wrote it, it was revised, I rewrote it, revised, rewrote it. So that page in total probably took about a month.
I will have to look up the page on the rending, because I keep hearing hints and lore drops about it and what happens in it, and I very interested and I want to learn more. So knowing that there's a page about it on the wiki is very exciting for me. I'm not gonna lie.
It is everything except the aftermath, which I keep delegating to people and then they don't do it. And I
Ah.
need to do it myself. But at this point, I feel like I've delegated it so many times, I just don't want to do it myself.
You gotta stamp your foot down, of course, of course.
But yeah, that took a while also because, oh, I wrote the page and then we changed the dates for the rending, which then changed the dates for like 10 pages or more. And then so I went through with Rat, who like who did a bunch of command stuff and is very involved in command lore, and we basically went through and we're fixing all sorts of timelines all over the place.
Very nice. So what has been like your favorite things to work on the wiki then? Like, somebody give me your favorite lore, I guess would be a way to put that.
Honestly, it was the cheat page.
The cheat page, okay.
Because that was just like spending like it was fun. It was like midnight for me or midnight for Thor, talking about Chi and Karlov and voice chats talking about it and like what it was, going back and forth, revising, and that was a fun process. Also, getting to talk to Karlov and Thor is fun.
Oh yeah,
So,
always. I haven't had the pleasure of talking to Karlov much yet, but I've been a big fan of Thorfindel for quite some time now. He's always fun to
Thor
talk to.
and Thor just does a lot.
Yes,
Which is always very impressive.
For sure. So you want to tell me about your nation then as well, the Order of the Chroniclers? What is their deal, and is their name change lore friendly as well? And why is that?
The name change initially was lore friendly. Owning the entire Daemsir is not as much. My nation, Order Chroniclers, I mean, it's centered in Anbennar. So that was correct. The Order Chroniclers is centered in Anbennar in itself. It's in the Temple District, I want to say.
Of course.
Yeah, it's in the Temple District. So that's why I was like, if I'm playing Anbennar, which is like my favorite playstyle, sitting there making money, doing nothing. And that's where the Order Chroniclers is. So how could I not? So I might as well be the Order of Chroniclers.
That's fair enough. As well, just that you mentioned Anbennar itself obviously is a city, but the fact that you know where this Order of Chroniclers is inside the city, when in EU4 terms, it's just a province, it just shows like the depths at which Anbennar goes beyond the game itself, which is, I think, very cool, and also helps a lot with people who are running this mod or running this world in their like D&D settings and playing it in actual D&D games, which I really appreciate, and I'm very jealous of people who get to play D&D in Anbennar. So does Anbennar have like a fully fleshed out map then?
It does. Have you ever checked this? I say this so often. Have you ever checked its wiki page?
Not for Anbennar. Most of my time on the wiki has actually been spent in Bulwark, because that's my favorite region of the world. And I don't know if you noticed, but I did contribute to the Bulwark wiki page a while back. I made a couple of maps for it, which have since been edited out of the Bulwark page, but I still get updates by email every time somebody updates the Bulwark page. I get notified of it. But yeah, that's where most of my I look up the nations that I'm playing, and any nations that are like around there or influenced by them. I haven't played around Anbennar very much, so I haven't actually seen that wiki page.
Yeah, country pages are one of the most lacking, just because God, there's so many countries.
They are.
So that's what I was like the most in demand. But yeah, we're always getting new maps, which makes it hard because every time someone makes a map edit, I'm seething, knowing that our old maps are now useless.
Fair.
But yeah, Ambicos has the city has like a total description of like all of its districts. It even has we only use AI generated images because art's pretty low in demand for the wiki and pretty high in demand everywhere else. But it has some images generated for its different districts. It's got the Bilge, Tower Hall, Temple District, Dove Market, Royal Court, Newport, Elm Docks. So someone could definitely make a map. Like all the aspects are there. But
Very nice.
Ambicos is like the most fleshed out city in the game.
The City of World's Desire is I guess what I've heard it referred to as. I think it's also in its mission tree called that as well.
I think so. I think that's at some point. City of World's Desire.
We're talking about maps because maps are cool. We like maps here.
I love maps. Oh, I love the wiki maps. We had a person who's not very active anymore, but Stephis. Man, it's kind of embarrassing. I don't know the name, but who did a lot of really good maps, like the current Bulwar map. No hate to your old one, but did a Bulwar map, did a Canor map, and just which we don't have done on the wiki for some reason. But
Well, time to make a new page. Get them maps in. What is the process then for saying there's this Nathalair map that was made, posted to the Reddit? Is it permissible for you to use that on the wiki, or are you able to ask this person who made it? Can you put it on the wiki? Like, what is the process there?
funny enough, I did ask in the Reddit if I could use it, and I never got a response.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
But I did ask. I saw it and I was like, man, this is so good. It should be on the wiki.
Yeah.
Can I use it? And I got no response.
Yeah, that person could have been a contributor in their own way. They passed up the chance.
I love wiki contribution. I mean, it's gone a little bit harder in that. I guess I never answered that earlier question. With my terrible little amount of free time, but somehow still do it. I've not an admin, a content moderator on the wiki. So I always go through recent changes. I patrol the change logs. I make sure it's people I know and trust. And if it's not, that's also cool. I then just check its history and see what they actually added.
Right. Yes.
But if someone wants to contribute to the wiki, they're perfectly able to. As long as they're not putting in Minecraft music videos again. It'll be tracked. But go into
That
the
was a thing
Discord,
that happened
many years ago.
Yeah. Naturally.
We fear that they're still somewhere in the wiki.
So, for people who want to contribute to the wiki, are they able to, like, in what ways are they allowed to contribute? Because I imagine it's not permissible to just make up your own lore. But what areas is it fine for somebody who has not had, maybe they're not on the Discord, they're not a dev, they're just a fan of Anbennar, they've played a bunch of it, and they see a wiki page that is, say, less than filled out. What is the process like for somebody who wants to contribute?
So being a wiki chronicler isn't making as much lore as one might think it is. It's mostly making lore in gray space. So like for example, there was no FLI page, so I wrote the FLI page. Someone gave me a document. I took information from it, compiled it, made the FLI page, and while I was making it, I said, "Hey, I'm writing about some biological theory of evolution, basically. So I need to make a Darwin." So I made a Darwin figure. I was writing about some expedition, so I made up the expedition. It's that kind of gray space. Like I'm not making that whole lore, but I'm like, I need this expedition. I made up an expedition. I'm like, well, I mean, I just made up the expedition, so who's gonna care if I make up some characters for it too?
Right.
So
Yeah,
then
that
I
makes
wrote
sense.
characters for it. But if you're just coming onto the wiki, well, the best thing to do is messaging in the Wiki Chronicles channel and Discord, like thread, because we love to see people there.
Yes.
But we've got a couple different initiatives. We've got the regional one, which is, there's so many regions in the mod. If I can open up the map mode, if I can find the map mode. You got Small Country, Lencanor, the Borders, Busa, Nor, Akase, Kedarata, Bulwar proper, so on, so on. And a majority of them across the world don't have wiki pages. So a big initiative of ours right now is let's get these wiki pages. Let's find maps
Yeah.
Let's just write down who are the people that live there, what are the countries, kind of write down the regions. Along with, we want to get all the cultures, but obviously there's so many cultures. We're just working on human first. You know, trying to write down all the human cultures and what they're about.
Starting with the biggest group then.
Yeah.
So, I did see in chat as well a little while ago, I think it was actually Beppa that mentioned it, that all of the Dwarven holds now have histories and lore and wiki pages dedicated to them, even ones that maybe don't have mission trees yet. Is that, or did I read that right, or am I completely making shit up there?
So we started that, me, Beppa, and Sternson. We each did like 3 holds or something, and then I got busy and Stern got busy, and Beppa just kept going. And honestly, we've got a pretty good wiki pipeline here. I started as wiki chronicler, became Kenner core, Kenner reviewer. Beppa started as wiki chronicler, became Dwarvar core. Hydra started as chronicle, became Bulwar core. Stern became moderator and Kenner core. So pretty good pipeline there. But Beppa has just kept writing pages and just kept writing hold pages. So as Aris made the lore, Beppa would write the page. So I probably made 3, Stern made 3, Beppa probably made like 20 hold pages.
Oh, very nice.
So all of those I believe are done. And honestly, if you see a hold page, I'd attribute it to Beppa.
Okay. How much do the wiki how much does it impact like future development of the game as well? So, for instance, you're talking about these holds, and there are lore and pages dedicated to the various holds that don't have mission trees yet. Will the people who eventually go down and make mission trees for these currently empty holds, will they be like referencing the wiki and see what's written there, and like because obviously the wiki you said there are made from the lore that is given by Aureus. But then does the person who's making the mission tree go back and reference it? Have you noticed that happening at all?
Yeah. Especially the holds. A lot of them were like completely rewritten. All their like national ideas changed. And so then that goes on the wiki. I mean, they could check the national ideas or the wiki. One of the wiki is it's more accessible. A lot of people, you know, in Anbennar, the server even don't have Europa. I mean, they can't play the game. So we want to make sure that they can still get the lore without that.
Okay.
And by doing that, you know, if someone wants to make themes, I mean, imagine they have Europa, hopefully.
Yeah.
But you know, if they want to check, oh shoot, what does this hold do again? They don't need to open up the game or check the files every time. They can just open the wiki.
It's not even about not having the game. Sometimes the game just takes quite some time to open.
Oh, so long. The worst times, the worst pages are the ones where I have to open up the game for.
Yeah. All right. Is there any like final things that you want to like inform chat of, or tell people to go and check out? Any specific pages that you're very proud of that you want to share?
I'm very proud of the Chi and the Rending page. If you're in the Discord, I highly recommend you join our Wiki Chronicles thread, new wiki pages, as every new wiki page we make gets posted there.
Oh, that's cool.
And so if you want the newest up-to-date lore and everything, I mean, the Centaur page just got redone. So you want to actually see something about Centaurs more than their spawns of Rohibos. It has a massive page now, but all the newest lore gets put into new wiki pages. Battle of Rodenstep has a page that doesn't just have a giant disclaimer saying this is not real lore.
Nice.
Now it has real lore.
That's good to know.
All the new wiki pages put there, I highly recommend you join the thread and can see them there.
I suppose it's very helpful for, like Zach, going back to it, but for people who are wanting to play in Anbennar in their D&D world, the wiki will be like a phenomenal resource for that.
Yes, that's. I mean, Sternson, one of our chronicles and moderator, runs D&D sessions, and we even have like D&D section of the server, but like just runs D&D off of it, and the wiki is just great for that. And you know, while the wiki is canon for Anbennar, you know, especially if we were doing D&D, it's just a good start, you know.
Yeah.
People are free to go in any direction they want.
All right, well, perfect. Well, thank you very much for chatting with me. It's been a pleasure, and I wish you the best of luck with both your Order of Chroniclers in game as well as your Order of Chroniclers in the wiki as well.
Thank you. I've been staring at this government reform button since the game started, and I've not yet clicked one. So I've done nothing.
Oh, I
So I'm
think
gonna go-
you're. Oh yeah, you don't really have very good options here. Maybe like organized military stuff. Just go very basic. But yeah, I think I mean, you're in a pretty decent position. Actually, there's one thing I wanted to ask you on that as well. What team are you on? Who is on your team? And have you got any
I'm the wiki
issues
team.
with Viacock?
Okay, well, Viacock's on my team. My team
Okay.
is Viswal, Viacock, Matty on Moonhaven,
Uh-huh.
and Schwendigo all the way over in the Forbidden Place,
Right.
and Orbitrol.
And New Wanderers, I think, as well.
New Wonders switched to Orbitrol.
Oh, okay.
My issues with Viacock did all this in the first session when I was not here. And while I appreciate them making our team a bunch of money, I do want my islands eventually. But we've come to an arrangement about that since they're on my team.
Fair.
They just raid me.
I mean,
No.
I was looking at your devastation,
He did
and
raid me.
there is devastation, but I think... no, he did. Yeah, no, he
They
absolutely
did
raided
just
you.
raid me.
Yeah, no, that happened. That's why, having Knowles near you, yeah, they might be on your team, but, maybe it should be mutually beneficial rather than take my people as ship slaves.
Our
But
alliance breaks for one moment if they do that.
yeah, that's the way of it. Knowles, can't trust them. I hear they're devils.
Seemingly so.
Hell, I'm a Bulwa fan, calling the Knowles devils.
So yeah, I was like, Gilly's doing a great job with Boar lore and just Boar pages. Always making new stuff. Always making new stuff.
That's good. Like I say, I do get updates on Bulwa's pages sometimes, and always like to see what new things are there. But yeah, I will let you go and enjoy your Order of Chroniclers game, and I wish you the best of luck.
Alright, thank you. This was a fun interview, and I always like watching your videos. They're always fairly fun.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Oh, and he's immediately going to go to war. Yeah, so that was Chronologic, the wiki lead. So, very happy to go and chat with him. And again, apologies for my stream dying earlier. It is very annoying, and I hope that it won't happen again, but no big promises there, unfortunately. If it does happen again, please just spam F in chat so that we can I can get it fixed relatively quickly, but it's not something I get a notification about it dying. It just dies, which is very, very annoying. But yeah, just to be a gameplay caster, what has happened here? We have Laurent. Have they attacked Viswal? No, it's the other way around. Viswal have attacked Laurent to try and take Alcanda, which going for a fort as your war goal. Actually, it's not a fort, it's just a wonder. It is a great place for a fort because of the wonder here, but yeah, despite having a fortress here, there is actually one in the province. So this should be relatively easy to take it, but, not when Laurent massively outnumbers you and you kind of got a little bit wrecked already. Other wars that are going on around the world. We actually see the Order of the Chroniclers helping out. No, we see the Order of the Chroniclers being sieged. I would wait maybe for a little bit of morale before you go in. You've got... there's no shock advantage on either side. They both got 3 shocks, so you should be fine. And gonna be alright there, I think. Be able to win that fight. And also, that'll be stack wiped because there's absolute naval dominance here for his side. Very, very good, very cool. Orbitrol is now new on their team as well. And maybe they'll be able to fight back against Frozen, which has been doing really, really well. This is an AI nation. It has not been played by a player once, and it's doing this well. It's very cool to see. Later on today as well, in today's stream, I do want to have a chat with Cargwin. He offered himself as an interviewer, and mostly just want to ask why and why and why. what is the reason for the Necorin something? I don't understand it. Not something that I fully vibe with. I want to understand what the deal is. It would be nice. So yeah, we got Corn going massively over their force limit. No, they're not. They just have a bad income for their size, and they're reinforcing. And I think, obviously the players they have this, right? Wineport has also attacked them. They're going to be able to pretty easily get this war done. We've got Booslar coming all the way over to help as well. It's two separate wars. They both, they're going to win. Not a problem. But it's, Biswall is really definitely being the anvil upon which the hammer is going to strike. Yeah, indeed. Is Viacok helping in this war? They are as well, yes. They're currently landing down in Sorn Bay. But that is kind of annoying, I guess, for Wineport. If he wants to take this land, and Viacok is the one that is going to siege it, that's certainly not something you would absolutely want, for sure. There's West Ham getting wrecked. The siege of Anbennar, we didn't see it end, but you can see how it ended. A fat stack wipe there. Goward currently in a peasants' war, as they always usually are. What else is going on in the world? We saw Bursar Tenches there, going to war against Azka Evren. They were role-playing and being super friendly, but I guess Azka Evren couldn't make it to the session, and now they have kind of abandoned that, and Sakiel has murdered them, which is very sweet, very nice. My ogre tag has been released, Gars Vulshim. So they have they got their mission tree as well then? This is indeed their mission tree, and then it'll expand when you form Megurgama. If you could read National Ideas 1, 4, and 7, you want to get their deal. Yeah, I'll check that. So, first one here, Doom Hungerers. Religiosity is not only means to an end, the end being to justify gorging themselves on whatever morsel passes their way. But our clan is known as the most devout. Oh, the most devour followers. I feel like it's both a typo, but it also works. So I'm not sure if it's a typo. We'll leave that one by. We'll pass that one over. Their chefs and their grand ritual feasts, blessed by shamans. Others pay no heed to our warning that famine of the soul is as deadly as famine of the body. Only through ritualistic and diverse consumption can the twin hungers be satisfied. To gorge purposelessly and perpetually is to invite the body to cannibalize the soul. Doom shall gnaw at your guts and sup upon your spirit. Doom hungers. That is a typo. You know what? I find that I have found quite a few typos in Anbennar, and I feel like it is purely because when I'm streaming the game and I'm reading them out loud, typos pop in and get recognized so much easier when you just say it out loud. For sure. Number 4, Covetous Culinarians. Chefs of Garsvolshim are renowned in August society for their culinary genius. Push all the ingredients of their plains to the limits. As knowledge of the lands beyond the plains spread and interactions with the triunic humans become more common, chefs fell over themselves to acquire new ingredients and experiment with flavor profiles that were once bizarre and inspired. And then finally number 7 here. The historic territory of Garvolsham has already had the abundant farms within a domain of Magargama. Accordingly, it's often been beset by raiders from the north and wild clans, while simultaneously paying heavy tithes to their southern overlords. To survive, Garzvolsham developed impressive agricultural and irrigation techniques so that they could always maintain a protected food surplus, which also allowed them to endure through periods of scarcity like famine or sieges. However, this only encouraged more raids and more tithes and launched an arms race of food production, hoarding, and theft. Having endured this for centuries, their clan seethes at every grasping hand that threatens their wealth of food. Basically, he's a very, very hungry boy. He's a very hungry boy. But yeah, that's it's cool. It's a cool looking tag. I might have to try them out for sure. And Rackham, I'll just get a link to that for you in a moment. Request for a special hangry CB for that tag. Oh, for sure. That'd be a great thing. And yeah, as expected, Laurent is basically dead now. They did manage to get through the siege of Greymill, though. So, yeah, definitely Viswall being used as the anvil. And Wineport is sieged more than enough. Sure, Viacok might... do you reckon they would actually take this? I reckon Wineport would not be super happy if they did. But they could. Can you stop the orcs from blobbing into the spine? But Azra, that's kind of... That's your job. He's playing the Azra Expedition. Oh, he's still called the Azra Expedition. He hasn't actually formed his tag yet. Which is very interesting. It could be that he doesn't want to form Amaldir, because Amaldir... It's a pretty old mission tree. It also could be that he wants to finish the Azra Expedition missions. Increasing passive digging speed by 15% is really nice. Dev cost in there to come. Construction cost in there. Center of trade increased. There's still a bunch of things that you can get out of this. So it could just be that he wants to wait until he finishes this part of the mission tree before he forms his tag. But he could form his tag as soon as he gets to admin 7, which he's actually quite far behind on admin. So we'll see what happens there. Not Orslam Asdir. That could also be done, you know, forming the Ram Dwarves. But he would have to move his capital, I think. Or no, he could just form it. So maybe he's actually gonna also wait until he colonizes Mithridoom right here, and then forms Mithridoom, which I think is probably the best tag in this region. Or maybe this is what he's on about. Sevadir coming into the spine is indeed very cringe. He'll have to deal with that at some point. Mithridoom is pretty meh. I don't know. You know, he's got options. Is all I'm saying. He's got options. You know, he could form the Ram Dwarves. Call them King Dwarves. I don't know. Mithridoom, the Mithril Dwarves. He could also form the Durvazatun, which I think are like observation dwarves or observatory dwarves. So yeah, there's options there. It just depends on which ones he wants to go with. What is a Karinya? So Karinya is Koranta, but cursed. is basically the way to put it. It's cursed Koranta, with the introduction of the Nekorin mod that's been baked into this DevClash mod. So they have a new flag. They have a new unit model, and they have a new name. And when did he even give them? He didn't give them new advisor portraits, so that's at least something. But yeah, burn it indeed. You know, I mean, yeah, it's certainly something. But his expansion opportunities are like, compared to the others in Escan, really, really easy for him to take on, like, the Marhold. And that's just, yeah, very, very easy for him, I think. What is he at on his governing capacity? He's still got a bit of space. Let's see. Are we soon to see the end of the rent? Looks like Vikok's passed this over to Moonhaven now, so looks like he won't be using it. Let's have a look in other areas of the world. Yeah, like Aelantir. Let's have a go and have a gander at Aelantir. We have Vanail started to colonize. Unfortunately, I think Vanail is not a player. Yeah, Vanail's not a player, so they're probably not going to be doing very much, as is usually the case. But we got Pearl's Edge, who is a player, right? Yeah, Pearl's Edge and Moonhaven, both players who are colonizing. But at some point, they will... Oh my god, you were like... This is different. This guy was an OPM like a moment ago. At some point, we're going to have to talk to River Doge and ask him what quite the hell is going on here. Tag into Corvuria? They have Horde Curse? I'm sorry. What now? Corvuria cannot have Horde Curse. That is impossible. Corvuria has Horde Curse. It is not it. What? How does Corvuria have Horde Curse? This is for dwarves. I'm sorry. What? I don't understand. He doesn't even have a hold. I think it is worth mentioning we are playing on a Bitbucket developer build, as Paradox very frequently likes to remind us when they used to do DevClashes, but they don't anymore because sadness. Hot code! Hot code, yeah. Did they culture switch? No, they're still human military, human administration. Still Corvurian. Mr. Vivin here is Corvurian. He's not a dwarf. Hot code. That is what... I mean... How does this even happen? And the only flag he has there is the always +10. They tagged into Corvuria. Yeah, for 3 more months. I wanna know what this is all about. Cause like, surely not. Surely we're not. It's gotta change, right? It's not gonna like actually fire a Horde Curse for Corvuria. That can't be the case. Find out in a month. Might be a merge conflict. I mean, who put this mod pack together? Criminal, clearly. But New Wonders being cannibalized now by Newshire. F's in chat. Although he went up to Orbital. Alright, so Corvuria, are you Horde cursed? Here we go. The gnome cursed? You've been gnomed. Well, chum. Wrecked. Suspect. Very suspect. But definitely wrecked. You got him. Yeah, so I guess... Look, I'm not gonna lie. Horde Curse is one of those disasters that you tell new players, like, look, the dwarves are very unique, but maybe have them be, like, your 3rd or 4th playthrough in Anbennar, because, like, the Horde Curse is gonna wreck you if you don't know what you're doing. And I guess it's just, yeah, it is the most famous disaster in Anbennar, I think. I definitely, yeah, no, I'm fully sold on that being the thing. It is the most famous or infamous disaster in Anbennar. Because most people have gone through it. It's the first curse you, it's the first disaster you go through as the dwarves. And so, yeah, definitely. Obsidian Dwarfs is the one that wrecked you. I feel like I didn't have a problem with any single disaster, but in most of my Dwarven playthroughs, I get multiple disasters, like, simultaneously. Like, they don't happen at the exact same time, but, like, the month after I finish Horde Curse, like, the Obsidian Dwarfs pop up, or I just get through, the Serpent's Rot, and then I get, you know, something else coming through. And yeah, now they have a new disaster for their religion, which is, that's cool. Good job. Giving the dwarves more pain is fun, I guess. And yeah, getting Horde Curse while somebody else gets Serpent's Rot, awful, nasty, real bad. But yeah, having more than one at a time or getting them in succession, it really, really hurts. And I guess that is it's probably the only big pain point when it comes to the dwarves. Like, individually, the disasters, yeah, they're painful. The Horde Curse will probably put you in a bit of debt, but your dwarves, as soon as you're out of the Horde Curse, your debt's going to be not an issue. But yeah, I think, like I said, with this game, I am casting it, but I do also have Anbennar games that I host on my own Discord, and I think the next Anbennar multiplayer that I play, I will be trying out the dwarves. I've not done it in a big multiplayer before, and I am excited to try it. I'm not sure which dwarves I'm going to go for yet, though. Just, I know some dwarves. The religion disaster isn't actually too bad to deal with. You just had it on your Mithridum run. Okay. I haven't experienced it, so I can't say one way or the other. What is everyone's favorite Dwarven hold then? Because I know we have Aureus in chat, which, if I'm not mistaken, Aureus, you are the Dwarva lead? Am I right in saying that? Or Serpent Spine, I should say, lead. I might be wrong in saying that. It might be a different job title. You are. Okay, I'm right. Perfect. What's everyone's favorite hold? Because Ovdal Tungur is a based choice. That is a very based choice. Doesn't have a mission tree. She's not even in the bloody Serpent's Spine, so I'm not sure it's relevant to my question. But that is a base choice. I very much appreciate that one. Verkal Dromak, yes. Very cool choice. That lake exists. It does exist. It's down there. We have Crackdoom Vor people be liking. Rosam Deer. Tuwad Domancon is one that I have never heard. I'm going to look at that. Tuwad. Doman, where are you? Does this have... I mean, we've just heard from Chronologic that it does have a wiki page and lore. But I have no idea what it is. I have no idea. I'm going to have to look that up. Glass Dwarves are your favorite. Oh, they're a chef hold. So they're right close to the beer dwarves, and these are the chef dwarves. Nice. Perfect. Who else have we got? The dream dwarves. We have Ovdal Kanzad deserves more love. I gotta say, I do like myself a bit of Kanzad. Especially if you can survive like the early game and you get into the late game and you have your fatty cannons with your extra artillery fire, with your land fire damage, with your artillery combat ability, your land leader fire, like, you become so unbelievably strong. It's so nice. Those cannons are amazing for sure. Hulla's Crack is all we're getting some love for as well. You love the Platinum Dwarves, the Observatory Dwarves. Mission Tree, if it had a better ending, it'd be your favorite. I've not tried them yet. I have heard good things, but it was a game in progress that I heard about, rather than somebody who'd finished it. You like the Love Dwarves? Yes, Ovdal Lodum. So I had an idea that I was going to be, let's do a Ovdal Lodum game. I'll stream it and all this. But it was in like March that I had that idea. I was like, hang on a moment. Maybe I just save that for next year and I'll do a special Valentine's Day stream as Ovdal Lodum. So that's my plan for next February. I'm playing Ovdal Lodum. But yeah, the fact that there are so many different options when it comes to dwarves, and they all have their own playstyle and their own, less so playstyle, but their own like lore and such, I think is so cool. It's not just like one unique thing as dwarves. What is the Love Dwarves thing? They just be loving, you know? They start with a human ruler who is dead, apparently. They start with a human ruler, and they start with, I think they start with the one of the gems as well, do they not? Where's the crown? Yeah, they start with a sapphire gem. So if you want to reform the dwarf crown, you have to do that. But Ovdal Lodum is one of the more unique mission trees, in that you don't see any of this when you start the game. Like, you see just like the legacy of Garen Orkrend. Like, or maybe it's even something earlier than that, and it's a new mission that pops up. I can't remember. But you see like one mission at the start of the game. You complete it, you see one more mission. Complete that, you see one more mission. Which is kind of, it's weird. It's not something you see a whole lot of. Keep in mind that Lodum has a very different playstyle. Yeah, it's true. Acefire is asking about Aureus. Is he one of the people who helped make the Serpent Spine the amazing thing it is in game? Yeah, Aureus is like the Serpent Spine lead. He knows his dwarves. Was there an in between, or was it did you take over from Hehodivar? And also, when will there be a hold called Oriovar? That was a reach. I suppose Aureus, that's gold. So where are the gold dwarves? This is Aureus's hold, clearly. Berkelgulen is Aureus's hold. He's been the Dwarvar lead for about 2 years. All right, one thing, right? When will we have a tunnel going from Ovdal Tungur to like here somewhere? I need a tunnel. This needs to connect. I know there's a mod for it, but it's not enough. I need more. There's a sub mod for it. Yeah, I know. I'm tempted to integrate it into my multiplayer mod because it's a good idea. Spent so much time playing just the Serpent Spine area. So much fun. I agree. I like say with the Serpent Spine specifically, I am of the opinion that it is the most unique thing about Anbennar, and it's the thing that it does that no other mod has done. And it is just purely unique, and it's one of the biggest selling points of the mod. You don't think we're ever going to add it to the actual Bitbucket? Sadness. There is a player war as well. The Yinnick Empire is fighting Pom Vason. And it looks like, is that an actual war? Where are the Yinnick troops? They're just standing around. Maybe she's just letting her vassals do that. No, the war's over. Maybe it was a fake war. Pom Vason is now free. I think they were under the Yinnick Empire before that. Maybe they were. Were they a player before? Because I remember it just being Amanda and Susurrus here. But maybe that has changed. Has the Yannick Empire killed the Dragon Prince yet? Well, Ponvason is the Dragon Prince, right? He seems relatively young to be him. But yeah, it looks like there was an independence war, but maybe it was planned because this has now got a player and it didn't before. So yeah, I think Yannick Empire could have won that as an independence war. They could have won it if they tried, but I don't think Amanda tried. Varlin Gelt is the Dragon Prince, and I guess he's not around. This guy has a fun formal as well. The Dragon Dominion, very cool nation name. And I think, don't you form Malaknar as well after the fact? You form Malaknar in here somewhere. Maybe that'll be the Ponvason's Dominion. Would change that. But it's another nation that I want to play at some point, but not gotten around to. He isn't meant to be the actual leader of the country, he just goes around doing dragon things. Aha, okay. Malaknar is a starting tag, not the formal. What is... There's one that I'm thinking. I guess I'm forgetting what it is I'm trying to refer to. Hey, just things when you have dyspraxia. Malaknar is a starting tag. They have Battle Kings. That's also a tag that I want to play at some point. Just haven't gotten around to. So Bianfang doing really, really well. I'm pretty sure Baektagang was a player last week, and now they've been yeeted out because WAG is just going ham. Got a bit of an aristocratic and a plutocratic coup potentially brewing, but I think he's going to be fine. Just keep them happy and he'll be alright. But yeah, he's, I think, probably one of the strongest. Yeah, he's the most large nation in the world. Second place is Rakaz, who is not here today. So they... Oh, no, they are. At one point, at the start of the game, Beagletorn was here to set their AI settings, but I guess Alexius is one of the people who joined in. Beppa has been elected as the Dwarven candidate for interviews. Hell yeah. I will absolutely have a chat with him. Perfect. Have I played in the Yinnik region? No, I haven't. It's... At one point, I was recommended to play as... what's the starting nation here called? Not Yinnik Empire, it's... something Averin, that's it. I was recommended to play Averin, and then I was recommended quite swiftly after that, no, you really shouldn't do that. It's not a good idea. Don't play Averin in multiplayer. It's pain, and you will suffer, and you will not enjoy. It's going to be a nation that I end up trying to play on my own time, without pressure. But yeah, it's not one that I want to play right this second. Not an MP, but Averin is very fun. Yes, that's the plan. Play it in single player. Not streamed, no pressure, just enjoy the mission tree and that kind of way. What is this? This is an Anbennar multiplayer developer multiplayer clash. Developer multiplayer in Anbennar. Indeed. And I'm casting. I'm not playing, I'm just observing the wonderful things that go on and also talking to various developers and getting their insights onto the various things that they are developing. Which is going really well so far. I'm very much enjoying it. And I hope you stick around. You can enjoy it too. Wait, is this a player here? Is Azkasur actually a player? No. No. Why is it colored in? Oh, it is colored in because it is a vassal of Fruit Juice. He has vassalized them. I imagine that's not going to go down super well with Sariand. No claims on it just yet, but he does have claims on Syadan, who is allied with Shadow Dreamer. So there is that. Can you join? Unfortunately not. This is just for the Anbennar developers to play in. Would there be a Lord of the Rings E4 game after this? No, unfortunately not. That game last week was a one-time thing. There is another game going on tonight, but I'm not playing in it because I have to prepare for my parents arrive from overseas tomorrow. Beppa is now prepared. I will drag him in. Hello there, Beppa. How you doing?
Hello. I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. So, for the people watching, I know we've been talking about you a little bit in chat already, but who are you? What do you do? And what's your job in Anbennar?
So basically, I started out as a wiki chronicler when I first started. I weirdly started on Canorian stuff when I first did it. Just like randomly, we talked to Chrono and off topic, and I was like, sure, let's let me do a wiki page, and I started there until Aureus kind of like saw all this wiki stuff happening, and asked me, because I was a huge Dwarven fan at the time, to start chronicling there, and I started doing old pages and all that stuff.
Very nice.
And after that, I started redoing every single Dwarven Hold National Ideas with lore and, well, I didn't do the modifiers, but yeah, the lore, pretty much.
Okay.
So I started as a chronicler and started writing out of kind of nowhere, almost very spontaneously.
So it's basically doing that element of starting to write wiki pages and then just, oh, what you're doing is really nice. Come and do more, kind of deal.
Pretty much, yeah.
So I was told that you've done, what, like 20 or so of the Dwarven Holds?
I did most of them, like just pretty much at bar 2, I think, or 3.
Oh, wow. That is definitely most of them then.
Yes, and some are much larger than others, so.
Right. I will say, in the Dwarva, obviously, you say you're a fan of the Dwarva. Come on, this is Anbennar. Everyone who knows Anbennar is a fan of the Dwarva, because it's so cool.
Yeah.
But I will say, one of my favorite ideas for a Dwarven Hold, which doesn't yet have a mission tree or anything of the sort, is actually this one here, Gorbarad. The idea of volcano dwarves really hit something kind of cool for me.
I think you'll be very happy to hear is that the mission tree has been done and is in testing stage.
Oh, that is very nice. Okay, so I was recently talking about the fact that I was wanting to do dwarves in a multiplayer at some point. I think we have found the dwarves that I want to do. Did you write for Gorbarad then?
Idea set? I did some stuff, and I did a lot of the page. I believe Sternson did the vast majority of it.
Okay, all right.
But yeah,
are they as cool as I've got as a thing in my head?
I think you'll enjoy them.
Oh, perfect! Love it. I'm being asked for you to tell me about Tuatha Dumancon.
Tuatha Dumancon. So. They were the hold that kind of like when the fall of Dwarven happened, millennia ago, and Amaldir fell and the Serpent's Veil no longer like had food for the entirety of the Dwarven. They provided Serpent's Bloom, which is like this cave plants that are like really weird, and they kind of like supplied the entire East with it. And they started out like very poor until they started being like these incredible chefs and like decadence kind of nobility, stuff like that. Yeah. So that's kind of their shtick, I guess.
So they fed the serpent spine while everyone was starving. Yeah. And then they got overrun by orcs.
No, they got run over by hobgoblins, actually.
Hobgoblins, right.
Goblins.
Right.
Yeah, orcs never conquered a hold in the Eastern Serpent Spine.
Okay.
It was mostly goblins and hobgoblins.
All right, fair enough. Sorry, Dad. Greenskins. I mean, they probably don't even have green skin. I come from a Warhammer background. It's the same thing to me.
Oh yeah, I get it.
I know I'm wrong, but it is. It's vibes, same vibes. So that's. They have this whole lore and backstory and everything about it. But at the start of the game, obviously, it's controlled by goblins that are under command control. Obviously, you can go and conquer this as, I think, either it's not Blackbeard Cartel, it's Axebellow Cartel. Yeah. What is the driving force behind making such like a lot of lore? Obviously, you want to have that, but having mission trees and having like the future lore for a tag that is almost never going to happen unless it is, directly a player saying, I want to go and do this. Is there a different like process to making these kinds of tags rather than, the standard, Axebellow is going to usually go into Hull as Krakazol? Do they have more priority than someone like Tuad Dumancon?
For this situation, I think it's more of the actual developer of a mission tree would be the one that's like concerned about that because of how hard it is to form it. For example, for example, Velkodromak is very hard to form. You have to destroy the command, and they have really wacky stuff from that.
Yeah,
but really, it's mostly to the case of a mission tree maker for the difficulty and process of actually making the content for that. But for the lore, we wanted to have every single hold to actually have like content and stuff that they have special, so they're not just like hold number 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not just random guys. So it's a basis to an actual like further content rather than it being exactly just for EU4 gameplay. Right. It also exists for the timeline before the Dwarven ever fell.
Right. So what is the process like deciding, okay, we have this hold here, let's say, I don't know, Gronstanad. Obviously, it looks like, it's the capital, I guess, hold of the East. What's the process to decide, what is this hold about? How do you go about deciding this is what this hold's deal is and coming up with the lore behind that?
So when I did ideas, or the remade ideas for this, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that are very like assumed cases that, for example, like Rahen and Hellas were like civilizations by a time of like what's comparatively here like 4000 BC, which wasn't the case, for example. And like ogres and hobgoblins roamed most of the surface around the Dwarvar, and it was like not even safe to even leave the Dwarvar at the time. Mm-hmm. But these guys are very like, they had like this weird, these like very prosperous rise to power, as because of the region of the Jade Mines, right?
Yeah.
They had miners from every single place in the Dwarvar come there and get these insane like prosperity at the same time, and made this hold into what it is. It's the second biggest hold in Dwarvar.
Yeah.
With the extension as well of Oduzandris, which is a bit of a meme hold. But yeah, they are like they're the main rival, I guess, to the power of Amaldir from the beginning of the Empire.
Yeah.
They saved essentially the Eastern Dwarvar for a very long period of time.
Right.
So, like, for example, the orcs never came there, but it's also a case for the Middle Serpent Spine dwarves, right?
Yeah.
So they're very much like creating their own identity from Aldwarov and remaking it their own image, because they proclaimed themselves the successors of Aldwarov when it fell.
Yeah.
First.
So that it's a lot of the how you decide how a hold's story is based a lot on like its situation in its history, but like how do you come up with the history as well? Like if there is a hold that doesn't have anything related to it, how do you decide, okay, this is what we're gonna have this hold be? Hull as Krakazol, beer dwarves. Tuad Dromancon is going to be the food dwarves. Verkel Dromak, the under like conspiracy theory dwarves. Like, how do you decide this is what this hold's deal is?
So the actual concepts on the holds since the start were made like ages ago, right?
Okay.
But they didn't have as much concrete stuff, and there's like more like random ideas, kind of like, we put it in, this is kind of funny, this is kind of weird, let's put it in. And it'll be like 2 sentences of actual localization.
Okay.
So I was the one that was supposed to bring more flavor and more substance
Like
to every single niche of a dwarf, of these holds,
fleshing it all out.
add more. Yeah, and like giving culture and everything else, like to actually have it rather than just be a single thing. Like canon dwarves, for example, like Oval Content.
Yeah.
There's more to them now than just cannons.
Right.
So it's not one note, I guess.
Right. What would be your favorite then? Like, give us some examples of like some of your favorite dwarves that you've worked on, your favorite holds, your favorite like fleshing out.
And my favorite mission tree in the Dwarver is Hulas Krakazol, because how insane they are. And
I've
they
played them. Yeah, they are insane.
They are very much insane. And they have like these funny traditions where if you refuse to drink with them, they will start a fucking duel with you.
Yeah.
Because you actually like refused like such an honorable thing, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another one would be my favorite thematic wise would be Belka Skomdir, the guys that go to the Deep Woods.
Yes.
Because they have very much, for example, one of their ideas has, one of the new ideas, is they do a lot of herbology, with both with serpent spine flora and magical deep woods stuff.
Okay.
So they have like like proto medicine with weird magical shit.
All right. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said earlier that Gorbarad is something I'm interested in. Talk to me about Gorbarad. What's their deal other than being there's a volcano?
So, for Gorbarad specifically, is the origin of the volcano. Way under the hold, there's a dead fire giant.
Okay, I'm sold. I'm so sold.
Which is part of the case why there's a volcano, and it's such like it's very volatile. Because for example, the fall of Gorbarad originally is that these guys were like hard as nails. Like these like alone they survived against the orcs for thousands of years until the volcano fucking erupted and basically ruined everything because how insane this fire giant energy is.
Right.
And this fire giant actually contributes to an undescribable rage for these dwarves because of how this fire giant is like not something very common or even it's such a high magical energy that it changes dwarves that lives there like fundamentally almost.
I feel like that's true for most of the dwarves. Like each of their cultures sort of changes them just slightly, based on like what gem or stone or whatever. They each have their own like personalities, in that kind of way.
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of cases it's LARPing.
Yeah,
almost because they don't like some of these holds do not have actual descendants from them, right?
Yeah.
For example, Gorbarad, no descendants. Like, there's no way they could even get out. For example.
Yeah.
But for example, the service holds, some of the service holds, minorities, for example, escaped. Like Shastundir or Olgalavar, they escaped to Bulwar.
Okay. Yeah.
There are also like gold dwarves and Titrine dwarves from Segdir, Berkagulan that have minorities all around the Bulwar, which have extended influence among the humans as well. But so like you can conceivably like imagine there are descendants from these holds to actually like bring we're not just LARPing as like we're these guys from Silverforge, we're making like no, these guys is who we are. I guess
this was that comes into it as well with the like adventurer companies like Axbello Cartel coming from Rajnahaga. They
Yes.
were a part of the Serpent Spine. They fled when it fell, and now it's time to go back.
Indeed.
But yeah, some not having it, getting that flavor, it definitely makes sense to have it. That it's a product of their environment.
Yes, exactly. So even with Hulaxvik as well, right? Rahen is very popular with dwarves from the east, right?
Yeah.
Like almost like the vast majority of Hulaxvik and Grosamdir are in Rahen now. Like they didn't all die out; they are
Yeah.
actually all on exodus, pretty much.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of flavor. For example, Hulaxvik invites the Peridot dwarves from Rahen into Grosamdir and stuff like that. So there's like a lot of like flavor that's not exactly seen because we can't have, for example, like Peridot culture in Rahen, but we have minorities, but it doesn't exactly say what kind of dwarves they are or where they came from. But it's in lore on the wiki and stuff like that.
Clearly, these differences between dwarves are known to dwarves, but when they're out in the wider world, they just, they all just get lumped into, oh, you're just dwarves. You're all the same. You're just dwarves.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Well, at least in game, but we have distinctions now in for the lore.
Right.
Some are less. For example, Orgullivar and Shasundir, the Marble dwarves, Kobold dwarves, they are very small amounts of minorities that escaped compared to Rahen and Canor, for example.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Very, very cool. So, all right. It's so difficult for me to just not say, all right, so tell me about this dwarf, because it's very tempting. I'm not gonna lie.
I have written every page. I am a self-proclaimed expert on these.
All right. An interesting one then is the first Serpent Spine lead was Hehodover, who then has a hold named after him. Oh, Hehodas. Hehodas, and now it's Hehodovar is a hold that's named after him. Tell me, what is the deal with Hehodovar? What is their history? What is their situation? What's their lore?
I very much recommend their page because they have a very memey hold almost. They are primarily the engineering hold, right?
Okay.
They have done these huge feats of engineering. Like for example, like part of the, I think it was a student of Hechogrim, which is Hechodas technically, who made the first hold.
Okay.
It made he made the labyrinth beside Verklas Komdir, which is like this like proto labyrinth, which then came into Verklas Komdir's like development as a they have this rune door and this like insane feats just everywhere. It's just scattered all around the Dwarven pretty much.
Okay.
Like for example, they have these celebrations called let me find the name of it again. But they had these like 1,000 years, 100 years celebrations or something like that, where they made very stupid and weird feats in their hold. For example, they flooded an entire section of the hold to have a Venice kind of thing.
Okay.
Groundbreaker Day, thank you. Other times they decided to cut off all their beards, and which made them like hated among the dwarves because
I can
like,
imagine.
what the fuck are you absolutely doing? So they're very much of like this weird king came into power, and in this celebration they did the stupidest things imaginable, pretty much.
Yeah, cutting off your beard as a dwarf definitely seems to be up there in stupid. Definitely.
Yeah.
Do they have a mission tree yet, or is one in the works?
Neither or. There have been attempts which were unsuccessful.
Okay.
With like random stuff happening, IRL issues or not wanting to go on with the mission tree because it is like quite a huge commitment to do such a thing.
Yeah.
So this one not particularly.
Okay.
Although I can tell you ones that have been made since the update. So Hara's Orldum and beside Kugdir, for example, those were made recently and pretty much fully tested. I don't think I have tested them myself even. So they have themes of. Wait, do you have mithril in this game? Oh my god. They have themes
Yes.
of. They used to have slavery in their hold,
Oh,
which was
nice.
actually very not very looked down upon across every dwarf
Yeah.
because it's just, like they were the only ones that have ever done this, and so they had debt slavery of dwarves, and they also enslaved goblins at the time.
Right.
But their influence of being like such, they had a very big nobility,
Yeah.
very famous and powerful nobility, which kind of made them immune almost to like the pushback from other dwarves that really didn't like their slavery practices.
Yeah.
Because, for example, a lot of the high kings of Aldwarov came from that hold,
Yeah.
so it had huge influence across the entirety of Dwarvar,
Right.
which had this like grasp on the entire empire. But otherwise, their mission tree is they they do a lot of slavery at first with orcs and goblins at first, but then you have the thing is, I think you have choices to enslave either or,
Right.
and then you expand it upon into ogres, kobolds, and trolls as well.
Okay.
And
So
so it so instead of actually murdering every guys, you have a slightly not better option. It's not really wholesome or anything,
yeah.
but it's different. Some people would say it's better. I don't know. I don't think so.
I'm not.
But
I'm
yeah.
not sure if I can make a
And
decision
I
on
don't
whether
think
that's
yeah, exactly.
better or worse.
But it's always a choice for
Yeah. Yeah.
to enslave these guys. It's
Oh.
nothing you have to do.
Also a choice whether you form them or go down the other, because it is a very dense region for Dwarven hold, so you've got quite a lot of options. Yeah.
Indeed.
So who else then?
So I think so. Gorbarad is another one.
Yes, I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Durvasatun, I don't think it's in the actual update. It's only in the Bitbucket. Sorry,
Gorbarad.
Gorbarad itself. Gorbarad, just to explain what they do really,
Yeah.
is that they create a ginormous lava river across the Serpent Reach.
Okay, I'm sold. I'm so sold. I'm so sold.
So I mean, I don't want to obviously spoil the entire mission tree, but I want to just highlight some major key points, because even though I'm a reviewer for a lot of the mission trees, I don't want to spoil myself the actual gameplay of them either.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, they have that. They're very isolationist compared to a lot of dwarves, which
Right.
they don't really want allies or anything like that. They have a very staunch like trade policy, very inward focused compared to like of a lot of them, which are like very outward focused.
Yeah.
But yeah, Durvatatun, for example, these are the far north.
Yeah.
Right below Krakatavor, for example. These guys have a huge observatory to the astral, which is space.
Yeah.
in our world. But space is not the same, because if you stare long enough and observe long enough, you literally go crazy because of these like cosmic powers that are in it. Because, like, for example, the precursor elves went into space, but they didn't make spaceships. They made teleporters into other planets.
Okay.
So
that's a way to do it, I
actual
guess.
like space between planets is not the same as in real world.
Right.
It's
okay.
very cosmic eldritch horror stuff like that, I guess. So Durvatatun has a lot of things that are investigating it and have a lot of cosmic horror elements in their storytelling.
Right. That's
for
cool.
example.
I'm a big fan of like that kind of Cthulhu-esque cosmic horror stuff. That vibes with me quite a lot. Not as much as Volcano Dwarves, especially as I've got Thorfilindel in chat saying Lava Dwarves got their own subsystem because their Lava River ID was too cool for me to deny.
Yeah.
Look, you can't sell me any harder on these. It's done. I've chosen.
Actually, This is a very funny story. So part of the national idea set in Gorborad is that they have this duel called the Borbor duels,
Uh-huh.
which is a duel over lava, over a lava river.
Nice.
So for example, if you they'd be on platforms above a lake of magma, almost like Duel of the Fates in
Yeah.
Star
Yeah.
Wars.
Oh, I'm
So
so
you can always
sold.
imagine that.
Oh.
And we had a imaginary one like this in the actual Discord because there were 3 people, I believe, that wanted to make a mission tree for this tag,
Yeah.
and we had 3 proposals at once,
Right.
and they were judged as if this was like a duel of this. So a lot of this duel stuff is actually referenced
Oh,
in
that's
the writing
perfect. I love it. I love
and
it
in
so
the wiki
much.
page.
I'm so annoyed right now that Blackbeard Cartel is just sitting on Gorborad and they're not doing anything. Just like, please start colonizing. Form this tag. I don't even care. Just do it. I need to see it. I just need it.
I don't think the mission tree is in this specific fork
I
because
don't
of the
get-
mission tree, the multiplayer stuff. But yeah,
The ideas would be though, right?
the ideas are
And the flag, and I'm so
the
into it
flag, the
already.
flag is very nice.
So into it already.
It is a very cool flag.
But yeah, okay, so just so that we're not talking about holds for another hour, what is your favorite hold, and do you have any special recommendations that aren't ones that we've already spoken about, so that we can check those out?
My favorite hold thematically is Relko's Comdir.
Okay.
I like their because they're very odd and superstitious and have these like because of their influence with the Deep Woods, for example, they have become like paranoid and isolationist almost, and their ideas of rangers in the Deep Woods, like dwarf rangers, if you know, like Warhammer, Bugman's Rangers or whatever.
Yeah.
I kind of like the theme of that as well,
Yeah, for sure.
and their herbology and very like almost mystic view, almost like mystic mix with the Deep Woods and the Dwarver, which I really like.
You gotta embrace the weird a little bit to fight the weird.
Yes, I'd say so. Yeah.
All right.
And what was the thing? The recommendation of
someone to check out.
For the next update, I'd really recommend Hara's Oral Doom.
Okay.
Because they have, I'll just say this, enhanced Horde Curse.
Oh, you know what? I think I'll pass on that one.
It is genuinely more fun than normal Horde Curse, I'd say. And you get better bonuses if you complete it.
Slavery-fueled Horde Curse. I mean, you get what you deserve. Clearly.
You really do. It is. So, my last run, I had 650k rebels from it.
Oh.
From one event.
God damn. Okay. So
I think it's very funny. It's definitely doable.
Later on in the game, then, rather than right at the start.
Oh yeah, of course. It's Horde Curse, right? So yeah, you get it at the same time. But it's a very reflavored Horde Curse. Like for the normal Horde Curse, it's also reflavored in general.
Okay.
Like the whole basic stuff. So it is a very unique experience.
All right. Well, that sounds horrifying. I look forward to getting other people in multiplayer to help me out with that.
Yeah, I think you will need.
Yeah. But anyway, I will let you go then. Thank you very much for talking to me. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Dwarves. I could for a long time. That's for sure. But yeah, that's it's been an absolute pleasure. Love me some dwarves. And what is it you're working on next? What's your next project?
Currently, it's mostly writing, but I am also for not for this update, but for the next update, I am working for the Velkal Kozanad mission tree.
Okay, nice.
Which I'm kind of trying to keep secret a bit.
Okay, I won't ask about it too much then.
Yeah. Because their themes are weird, but yeah.
I look forward to it then. All right. Well, thank you very much for chatting with me, and yeah, I wish you the very best of luck.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you
very
very
much for having me.
No problem. Toodaloo. I honestly could ask him like, tell me about this hold. Okay, move on to the next one. Tell me about this hold. Like, it could literally be all day, and I would be so happy. But I gotta keep it succinct. I've got to move on to other things as well. But yeah, definitely thoroughly enjoyed that. We actually have a huge war going on, so let's have a look at what this is. Reclamation of Livergrave. So this is Istalor has declared a war. Or Corvuria. Yeah, Istalor has declared a war on Corvuria, so it's huge size on this. 298, 350, 380,000 versus approximately 320,000-ish. So this is actually kind of huge, and I do enjoy the fact that there is some pretty clear borders, pretty clear front lines, other than the fact that Sarenvar is a little bit surrounded, but also no one can see inside his land, so it's probably fine. Looks like Corvuria is being the front lines here as well. But yeah, this is going to be a cool war to keep an eye on. We've got Istralor, right? Small country Sarenvar, Istralor, Ibavar, Sariand, Order of the Chroniclers, Newshire, Corinia, Sestirande, Moonhaven, Bursartenches, Corvuria, Pearl's Edge, Silverforge, Port Nam, all involved in this war. This might be one of the biggest single player wars that I have I've witnessed in Anbennar. This is kind of cool. Not on numbers side, because obviously late game you have much higher numbers, but for 1497 these numbers are pretty huge, and yeah, let's keep an eye on this because we're gonna soon have the Battle of Raven Hill, and we'll see how this battle goes. I think Corvuria has definitely got the commander advantage. He's made his king into a 11 shock general. My gods, that is wild. Also a -2. Oh my god, he has 2 shock versus 11. You could outnumber this man all you like. That is such an advantage. The elves are also coming in to help. Holy hell. Now it's only a 6 shock. It's only a 6 shock advantage. Only. But those shock phases are just devastating. Holy crap. That's wild. Yeah. You may have the numbers, but not when you're fighting against those odds. It just good luck. I look forward to see you try again. We also have Rakaz, who's not in the war, but he's sold some condottieri. So we have Rakaz all the way from down south, making his way up. So that's cool. And also Wineport is helping the other side in that same way. So yeah, this is a huge war. Is he actually a vampire yet is a good question. He is immortal long-lived, so I would say yes. Yes, he is. What's the easiest way to check? Ruler studying magic, he is a Dark Lord. Vampire ruler, there he is, yes. So, if he dies, he does come back. I think he loses... It's either 1/1/1 or 2/2/2 that he loses, or it might have changed since the last time I played Corvuria, maybe. But he will get a new ruler who is still vampire, but will have slightly worse stats. Just so that you can make him a vampire ruler without completely, losing it entirely because of general tick death. But war wizards aren't broken, guys. This isn't a war wizard. He's not a wizard. No, wait, no, I lied. He is a wizard. Yeah, no, he's just cracked. 11 shock is just... this early in the game, 11 shock, 7 siege it's just kind of cracked. Very much. Doesn't the Dark Lord trait negate the stat loss? Oh, it may, actually. Let me have a look at that again. Dark Lord. Yeah, I guess it does. Yeah, you have +1/+1 there. Cool. He's also scrying at war, so he's got a bit of extra morale. He has cast Renowned War Magic, so extra morale, shock damage, less fire damage received. So yeah, he's got quite a lot of morale. I want to have a look at that, actually. Morale-wise, he is at 4.32. Let's have a look at the ledger. And look at army quality comparison. Let's check war enemies, war allies. Not the highest, and still it's up there. It's, you know, the difference between 432 and 449 is really not felt very much at all. But yeah, considering he has elves on his side, although do you have elven military or not? No, you don't. Okay, he does have the elves of Ibavar on his side though. He's got that cracked war wizard. I don't even think it matters that they're outnumbered. Actually, they're not really outnumbered. 380k versus 375k, so they're roughly equal numbers. But I don't see where the win is going to come from here. As well, Pearl's Edge is like kind of not helping. I'm not gonna lie, he sees that there is a huge war, and he's like, yeah, but now's my chance to kill West Ham. I can't be bothered, guys. I'm busy. I do enjoy the Ovdaltungur naval invasion of the Pearls, though. That is something enjoyable. It is a play. Oh, wait, it's not a play. This is just straight up AI being based. It's straight up based AI. Let's go. See, this is just a good idea, and it's, yeah, I thought this was a player. Oh, you unmarked, oh, okay, it was a player. This is a player's thing, but, he crashed, so he's gonna come back in. But yeah, this, great idea, I love it. It just means that if, you know, they want to get their friends over from, you know, small country, Portnam, Pearl's Edge, you're gonna have to go the long way. But, you know, that's also a target. If Ovdaltungur has a better navy than Pearl's Edge, and they just like siege the Dame's Teeth, yeah, no, it could be a difficult time. Although having said that, I definitely do not rate the navy of, let's say, the East. The Eastern Navy is not impressive. Because the West has small country, should have a decent navy. Pearl's Edge should have a decent navy, and the only ones here, I don't know if I rate any of these navies. Ovdaltungur has navy tradition. Morale of navies plus 15% is quite nice, actually, and they have got naval ideas, so maybe we'll see something like that. Pearl's Edge is coming to wipe out Ovdaltungur now. I feel like if they don't lose this battle, which is, you know, it's possible, 6 shock there, so the dwarves might have a chance of winning, but they're very, very outnumbered, and I think the dwarves are going to die there. Their quality difference just wasn't quite high enough. They have more morale, but less discipline, so less tactics, less numbers. Yeah, these dwarves are not long for the world. It was a nice idea and a good distraction. But Pearl's Edge, now that they're distracted by Ovdaltungur, they're going to lose their siege of Ilvendet. So F's in chat for the base dwarves. Oh no, he's coming in. He's going to see his men die. How sad. But yeah, this is a really, really large war. Very cool indeed. Godspeed, you beautiful boat dwarves. That's it. Like, that's another thing, just to go back to dwarves all being unique. Like, boat dwarves are unique in the Serpent's Mind. They're the only ones with a coastline. And, yeah, they have their own unique flavor that no one else in the Serpent's Mind does. And that's cool. We like it. We love to see these things. There's nowhere to run for these poor dwarven fellows. F's in chat. I thought it'd be a few ticks ago that they did. There it is. There, they're gone. F's in chat. Yeah, Sirenva could actually play a pretty decent role here, right? While everyone's involved on the front line, Sirenva coming in the rear, can the East spare the troops to go and quickly deal with it, or are they going to just ignore it? And will it be a thorn in their side for a while? I think what could happen is, a big battle is taken, the East retreat, and then while they're on the retreat and getting themselves back together, maybe then efforts can be spared to deal with Sirenva. Boat dwarves are indeed unique in the Serpent's Mind, mostly by the virtue of not being in the Serpent's... Alright, fair enough. However, I would argue that the mountain of Gulangor is merely an extension of the Serpent's Reach. It is the same chain of mountains. And as such, I would posit to you, in fact, that this technically would be a serpent spine dwarf. I'm just saying. It's the same mountain chain. Not a mountain chain, it's a huge pile of salt made by elves complaining. It's fair, I can see that being the case. They're a part of El Dwarf, so they are honorably included. There we go. Coastal hold is pretty insane for the dev, that sailor increase. Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I really want to see them get a mission tree. I'm not going to lie. I want to see, a big part of real world history was a huge shift. The most important shift in naval real world history was the introduction of the ironclad. It's like one of those, points on the history chart, the timeline, where something big happened, something big changed. Ironclad, introduction, huge change. I kind of want to see Ovdal Tungur have ironclads in the 1400s. I'm not going to lie. I just think that would be super cool. If they have, maybe make their hold have naval supplies as, its trade good. I don't know if it does already. It might do. But yeah, may have naval supplies or iron, and have them have ironclad ships with the new thing that EU4 recently added, the unique ships that nations can have, like England has the Man of War. Just give Ovdal Tungur bloody ironclads. That'd be so cool. They are the copper dwarves, so they have copper. That also makes sense. Call them copperclads then. Yeah, just call them copperclads. The Gnomish hierarchy has the Hierarch, which is a special flagship. That's true. But I'm not talking about a flagship. I'm just a class of ships that you can build a bunch of. I think it's something like, you can... I'm sure it can be changed, but 10% of your naval force limit can be these special ships. It'd just be cool if 10% of their navy was ironclads. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. That'd be kind of cool. For something like 16 years after the introduction of HMS Warrior, nothing else at sea could sink it unless it sat right next to the enemy ship and didn't shoot back for an hour. Yeah, it was such a big change. Another big naval change that came roughly around the same time was the introduction of the screw propeller. So there could be some like element of that in it as well. I don't know, just throwing out ideas. I'm an ideas guy. But yeah, like there's potential, you know? There's potential. Refounded by the God King. Okay. That's cool. Master shipwrights. Yeah, that's the thing. Make them yeah, steam power. There we go. You know, steam powered dwarven based ships. You know, that's what we're looking for. So we'll yeah. As soon as we unpause, we'll see what happens. There'll be we'll see more of the continuation of this war. Copper clouds sound funny, so they should be added. See? See? There's options here. There are options for memes, but that make sense. Who's gonna make the first move? Obviously, they're just sieging. If they were gonna have a fight, I'd say fighting in Upsfield probably a good idea. Because the next siege is gonna be on farmland, and you're gonna be even worse off. There will be a river crossing, but you know, 4 maneuver. Your best has what, a 3 maneuver or 1 maneuver. So you're probably gonna have a problem there. Koboldzan also coming in to help. There will be a battle soon. Oh, there we go. There is a battle, but not what they were hoping for. Make sure we don't miss any extra flames that come up, because, you know, it always happens. Like, there's no player wars for a while, and then multiple player wars happen simultaneously. It is a thing that has been known to happen. I don't know if opening new fronts is... Well, this guy can only be in one place at a time, so maybe opening new fronts is actually the play here. Because I think the East will win whichever fight Camir Silvivin is in. But maybe if you open multiple fronts, that could change. I also do think it's very silly of Ibavar not to put a fort in Aeneas. Just saying. I feel like it's a pretty obvious fort location. And they're already retreating, so I mean, all this did was like a bit of devastation, a bit of loot, and that's it. Oh my god, did you just fail again? God damn. Bordering forts are against the rules, you believe? Oh, okay. I mean, you could delete this one, put it here. This one isn't as important, in my opinion. But I suppose Ibavar being a fort, I don't know. I would have removed this unless you're also counting capital forts in that. I would honestly remove the fort here to build it here instead. Come on, you gotta take it now. 85%. Come on. Yeah, it's fallen. Okay, so Battle up in the north. Kobolds and Mercs, or Condottieri, are going to get sent packing by Newshire. Cool flag. Liking it very much. And it looks like the west is let's call it the Empire. The Empire, because it is the Empire, right? It's the Emperor who's declared the war. The Empire is going to strike back. Okay, what are these teams anyway? I can have a look at the team image that I have. So the war is being declared on the leader of the artists. So that's why we've got Ovdal Tungur, Korinta, and Rakaz involved in this. And I believe the artists have allied themselves with team writers. So that'll be why Ibava, small fellows who have turned into Newshire, that's why they're involved. Is Adshaw also involved in this war? They're not. Oh, battle! Battle! Yeah, the Corvurian general is just so unbelievably good. Anytime they roll well, I mean, they do have a defender dice roll bonus now, which is nice. You can't sniff at that. But 6-stroke advantage is criminal. The idea now will be to not overstack. There's not necessary to overstack. You already have 64,000 in reserve. Why add more? Not necessary. But you know, dribble your reinforcements in a reasonable manner. Unfortunately, cannons definitely reinforce the cannons when you can. It's probably why the fire phases are going in the Empire's favor. That is a lot of armies going in at once, but they're running low on morale, so maybe it was a smart thing to do anyway. But yeah, the big issue I'd see is no cannons for Corvuria, no shock for the Empire. It's actually way closer than it looks, but yeah, there's just more reinforcements here for Corvuria, and it is over. They're running away. But yeah, I wish observers got the panel of, you know, these were the casualties at the end of the battle, and unfortunately that's not something I have. Corvair rolled a 0 in the shock phase, but got the 9 from the general compared to a 5 with a +1. That's why you should be fighting the side stacks, not the God General stack. Yeah, true. That's why I was saying, like, opening fronts actually might be the intelligent play. But now I think the intelligent play would be to go and deal with Sirenvar while you can. Like if that's Sarian's job, go deal with Sirenvar. Easy. Speaking of Sarian, you have what kind of military? They also have human. Okay. Who is going to do it? Actually, we can check. Yeah, they're on their way over there. Rakaz as well. Oh, meanwhile, rebels all over the Empire. Yeah, oh wait, Rakaz just going in alone, making them break their siege. Got the defensiveness there. That's all it took. That siege was at what, like 28%? They had a breach and everything. All it took was the threat of a battle, and the elves go back to their forests. That's all it takes. All it takes. Another fort has fallen. I mean, yeah, you just gotta keep pushing. Silverforge is a player, I believe. I think I am aware of. Yes, Trashboat is playing as Silverforge, so it will be hurting him, and they can be separate pieced. when they get them hurt enough. If we tag over to Silver Forge, he's still at -20, so he's still got time. Missions he got available: relations with the Emperor, adventures in Escan. I can't remember what the licensed adventurers click gives, so we'll ignore it for now. And they've gone in, just did a large amount of troops. They just gone in. They didn't wait for their allies to get full morale. I feel like this is a throw on the part of the Empire. Suppose he saw, oh, but it's my capital. It needs to be defended. And I suppose they do have a -2, but at the same time, you could have waited until your allies got full morale. Because they're going in now without full morale. It's going to be a loss. Sure, you're dealing casualties, but you're taking more. I just feel like this one, like 3,000 casualties. 3,000 casualties. It's not even 1,500. Seeing 3,000 casualty ticks is the throw move. But, you know, it is what it is, and there's so many reinforcements for Corveria's side. I mean, sure, they're outnumbered 70,000 here, but it literally doesn't matter. I don't even think these reinforcements are needed. Maybe they would be. No, I don't think there are. It's over. Retreated. Done. Get out of here. You lost. Oh my god, he's had 2 siege ticks. One of them came from the battle, and he's already at 64%. Crazy. Actually wild. Legitimately mental. Also, there's a fort here and a fort here, so if there are fort placement rules, they were ignored. Generally, what I do in multiplayer is I don't claim that this is like the standard or anything, but I generally say that capitals are not counted in fort placement rules. Holds are allowed 1 fort next to each other. Okay, so it is special because it's a hold. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I like having it be holds and capitals are not counted in fort placement rules. But you know, I'm merely casting, so my opinions here not necessary and not relevant. Oh, they actually went and sieged Lorswatch while things were happening. So can that be taken back? It was recently taken, so there's a very small garrison now. If they get on it, blow it up, assault it, very easy. When Corvair rolls a 0 and the enemy roll an 8 while defending on a hold, then casualties in the shock phase are equal. Yeah, just go all 6 coalition and treat Corvair's general as Napoleon and only fight with the other stacks. I mean, basically. Or try and roll your own war wizard, right? I'm sure somebody has a mage general around here. Somebody will have to have one. Yeah, okay. So Istralor has a mage general. Have they made him... Unfortunately, they only got a 6 shock. Yeah, but he got war wizard. Okay. Anyone else? Do I have any more? Nope. Nope. Who else is in there? Wineport, I guess, is in here with Condottieri. Nope. Who else is on that side? Oh, Viacok has joined the war now. They weren't in it before. So yeah, navally, absolutely, the Empire has it in the bag. Although, all he's doing is sieging Copper Catarata. He's allied to Corvair, I guess. Rakaz got sent packing. I guess the Sirenvari are actually doing business now. Maybe it's going to take the War Wizard to go back and deal with it. It is a separate war, actually. They've attacked only Ovdaltungar and Corvaria. Smart move. So yeah, numbers-wise, 330 now versus... That's what... So these guys are doing more casualties. I'm almost certain of it. They got the better general. They're winning all the battles. But I think there's more nations, maybe, on their side. So they're replenishing faster. Trade war, we can't take land. I don't think the land is the important thing. It's being in the war, being in the fight, damaging their side. Yeah, there's I think 370 versus about 330. Well, it is just a case of they're going in. They can take on Copper Catarata, but then they're going to have to come north and attack up over the boats. Some naval landings. Yeah, so they're preparing again for another assault. It looks like they're waiting until everyone's got full morale, which is smart. And now they're going to be defending a hold. So it's going to really help. Apologies, bit of a tickly cough. Raven March has joined the war on the side of Wineport. Okay, so this war is just getting bigger and bigger. And I feel like... Oh my god, guys, they have an 11 shock general. Please, we need to band together and deal with this horrific agony. I feel like that's having an effect here on the diplomacy. Because I don't particularly believe that it was all that unbalanced before Raven March joined in. Raven March has actually brought in Adshaw into the war now. He's called in Busala, he's called in Rubyhold, called in Wineport. So Wineport is out and now actually properly in the war, rather than just Condottieri. But I do honestly think like there's potential here to really ruin Raven March's day. If they stop focusing here for a moment, quickly focus down Raven March, it's 3 forts, right? Because this is just capital fort, who cares? 3 forts, and it's all over. Partition it between Newshire and Corinia, done. Obviously now they've brought Adshaw into the conflict. Maybe Adshaw could just like solo Raven March while everyone else is busy. Yeah, I'll take it back. I definitely take that back. I lied. Want to be putting on the defensive edict there in Arca Corver, but also it's a mountain. It's could be higher defensiveness. Castanorian Citadel modifier is giving it some more defensiveness. If Baldostan was upgraded at all, it'd have even more defensiveness. But yeah, definitely this fight ain't going anywhere. Or this siege, I think it's just merely a distraction. I think he's probably not even expecting to be attacked. But we'll see. What is his mission? What missions do you have available? Permanent claim on West Overmarch. I mean, you have basically all of it, right? Reports from Raven March. Discover all of the land and subjugation sea beyond Raven March. That can probably wait. Corvuria is basically a Sorcerer King. Corvuria is a vampire lord. I mean, he's Dracula. But But yeah, this Serenvar very much like a thorn in the side. And it also very much cuts off reinforcements from Bursartenches and Sariant, right? Now to get through here, you have to walk through occupied territory. Colonialism has spawned in Frozen more. Based, you know, the AI getting colonialism, very based. Is there going to be another battle soon? Looking at the sides, definitely the reinforcements have definitely happened. But he's now got this against him as well. And also Viacok. I do think like there is definitely the numbers have shifted. 4 shock advantage for Carinia. No terrain penalty though. But yeah, there was definitely a numbers advantage for Raven March, but that did not help them. If Carinia can solo down Raven March, that'd be perfect. Got Azra Expedition also joining the war as Condottieri. So this is actually becoming really quite a huge war. There isn't many people in the region that aren't involved in some way. Ravenmatch already resorting to mercenaries. Makes sense. You take loans. 10 loans. Okay, I assume he's taken... Look, if you're taking loans, I'm not gonna lie. You take these ones. Like that. These ones bad. These ones good. Just my suggestion. But yeah, I don't think Rivermarch really thought this through. Adshaw's coming down. Carinia's wrecking him. Nushai's wrecking him. It's gonna be a... Hold them off, Corvuria. We got this. And it looks like they're also doing well in the south as well, taking care of the Sirenvari invasion. Ravenmatch numbers are all on the other side of the Dame's Head, so those numbers have to go through the War Wizard God to matter. Yeah, true. Ravenmatch was always outnumbered to start with. Yeah, it feels like a case of, please, you've got to help us. They have 11 Shock War Wizard. We need you. And he's like, I got this. I'm coming in. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Oh no. Basically. And it's gonna be all over. The gank is so lame. I get. I don't know if I'd. Is it a gank? I feel like probably. At the same time, like. Sarian, Bursartenches, Ovdothunga, Corvuria, Ibivar, Nushar, Carinia, Adshaw. Count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Do we hold a player? I don't think so. No. 12. So it's reasonably close. Oh, they're doing separate battles. But, I mean, it's smart. Now there is a general advantage. No, there isn't, because they also have a 6 shock. Alright, so equal generals and completely outnumbered here. Is he retreating into the other battle? If he is, that'd be... No, he isn't. If he'd retreated into the battle, that would have been pretty based. But he did just retreat to Tianmas, and now he's gone into the battle. So, you know, 5 shock advantage is now in effect in the farmlands here. +1 for Global Defender dice roll bonus. Plus, Corvuria now has a cannon advantage, although, unfortunately, the cannons have just run away. So maybe not anymore. I will say, and I will continue to keep saying it, I really hate the change that EU4 made to cannons. I don't think retreating from the back row is a good feature at all. I think it's kind of awful, actually. Really reduced the amount of available tactics that one had. Oh no! Oh, Busala, you're in a separate war. Yeah, this is the issue that you have when you fight in multiple separate wars, right? Busala is at war with Corvuria and all of these, but he's not at war with everyone on their side. He's not at war with Ovdaltungur, Bersertenges, Bersariant, who were in this fight. So when Busala came to reinforce this army, he couldn't, because there was enemies that he wasn't at war with involved in that. So his army wouldn't engage. And it's one of the big problems you can have with that kind of war. Is you're just not allowed to engage in battles, and then when everyone ran away, he's there alone, and Busala just got completely steamrolled. He's still got his army though, and it looks like Raven March is actually, it beat Adshaw, but there's still other armies here. I feel like the issue that they're going to have is they're split up. They're spread out. If Ravenmatch brought all of its troops together in one place, it could, defeat in detail. No, we already spoke about Napoleon. Let's do it a bit more. Defeat in detail. It's not like cannons do much yet. They do more than 0, which is important. Cannons doing half a fire from the back row. It adds up. It's better than 0. When's the next Miltech? Oh, the next Miltech is huge. The next Miltech is legitimately huge, and it is not that far away. New infantry, more tactics, more combat width. Does anyone have Tech 9? Where is it? Nations Technologies, Military Tech, Silverforge and Pearl's Edge went Tech 9. This is huge. If there is a turnaround, it will come from there. F for Ravenmarch. Ravenmarch has a local superiority. If they went all in on Newshire here, they'd win. If they went all in on Corinia, they'd win. They gotta choose their fights, though. And also, Corinia's coming in with reinforcements, so maybe not. A bloody Sirenvar. Also, like, Viacog, what are they going to do now as well? Looks like Viacog don't have naval superiority. Because Ovdaltungur is there with, 8 heavies. Who's got the most heavies on each side, though? Only 3 for Viacog. But in the main war, there's 13 on their side. Only 8 here, and this includes the Tungur. So only 8 heavies on their entire army, or in their entire force. So, I don't know. Could be a bit dodgy. And they're actually going for Arca Corvur now. Interesting. I'm not sure that's just super smart. Sirenvar has got a pretty decently sized army. Like, actually really quite decently sized army. But they're going to try and siege a mountain fort. Oh, they're assaulting the mountain fort. Corvuria, you might wanna do something about this. You might want to do something about this right good and quick. Like, immediately. Start a battle and then get everyone in. Just like, box, select, move. Yes! Go, Newshire! It's all up to you! He's getting cut! They're preventing the reinforcements! Oh no! Who's gonna get there first? No! Raven March with the clutch! This ain't good. This ain't good! I told you this was a problem. I fucking told you. Now, can they get it back? The absolute scramble is on. Can they get back Arca Corver before the vampire is murdered? Because this is it, right? They've sieged the capital. They are searching for the body. They're searching for the coffin. If they find it, stake through the heart of the general, even if he's leading over here, and is over. But I think they're going to get it back. I think they're going to get it back. You know, they're going to retake the capital. It's 520 garrison. They can assault that. It was a bloody good try. But oh boy, the scramble was so on. And Bursartanches is going to get absolutely wrecked here. And, you know, you got to assault. Like, there is no options here. You have to assault it back. Do you have anything about searching for the doodad? No. There it is. The assault is on. Oh boy. Magical teleportation across nation stake. Yes, that's basically it. Magic stake. That was worrisome. Oh, Syadan's coming in as well. This is bringing in people from all across the world. Azra Expedition in. Portnam's up there. The Sarenval's just really, really sticking their fingers in places that they should maybe not be. And now, you know, they've retaken the hold. They've retaken Upsfield. This little jaunt from Sarenval really drastically changed the war. So we'll see where the chips fall now. Can their gains be regained? Don't worry about it. Can they regain their gains? Looks like maybe they'll lose the battle in the north. Like, these reinforcements are going to come in time. I feel regardless of the outcome of this, Sarenval is now on the wrong side of every single neighbor. Oh, 100%. Oh, it's more is happening. What? Busala has Busala has attacked Ovdaltungar. Because they weren't in that war, and now they are. They had to be in 2 separate wars for it. Because this might be what hurt them before. But, I mean, Busala is really, like, it's the war against Sariand and Bursartanches. That's what really hurt them. But yeah, I don't know. This war wizard is about to lose battle. This from Sarenval, I think it was clutch. I think it actually was clutch. Because they've come forward now. They've retaken all of Silverforge's land other than their capital. And, you know, the vampire lost a battle. They had to assault elves on a mountain fort. And they're about to get stack wiped. They're about to get unbelievably stack wiped. Oh no! Oh no! Joe, it is over. Are they going to get stack wiped? Can they hold off long enough? 20th, 6th. Oh yeah, okay. I think they're going to live. I think they're going to have a. Okay. I think they lost on the day that they could retreat. Wood Elves very heavily MVPing right now. They're going to take Arca Corver again. I don't know, my guys. I think Vampire Bros, you know, F's. The vampire is going to die, he says. Who is that that's saying this? That is Sarenval. That is Sarenval that just said that. He's going for it. Pause by taters. What is this? Is this pause could be a uncon maybe? Force peace? In what way are you forcing peace? I'm not sure about the rules of play here. So we'll have a see what the diplomacy is looking like, and then we'll have we'll see what happens. It could be that he's asking for peace now, purely so that he can keep his ruler. But I mean, he's winning at 18. Unless he unconditionally surrenders, I don't know if that is he's going to be able to keep it. And if he unconditionally surrenders, peace deal that Istralaw can offer is can he get rid of his ruler or no? It's not in here. Maybe is Corvarian not a Witch King? Is that what we're saying here? Is the fact that he's not a Witch King is helping him out? Yeah, he's not a Witch King. So the world at large does not know that he's a vampire. LARP fail. LARP definitive fail here. What's Sarenvar's man pool at? Manpower pool? 0. Minus 20,000. But are they going over their force limit? I would imagine so. Ain't no way! What? No shot. Okay, so, I mean... Yeah, look. Meta RP. 100%. Kargwin has it figured out. You know? You should not... You don't know that it's a vampire. He's not a Witch King. He's just, you know... From your perspective. Ain't nothing wrong with this dude. Yeah? Hostile relations and at war, but nothing else. There ain't nothing about being a vampire in here. He has no idea. Just got bad vibes. Alright, nah, fail RP. What's the masquerade level? Where do we check that again? Not in here, is it? In here, maybe. Vampire State Tracker... Oh, facade suspicion. No suspicion. 0 suspicion. It's no suspicion. 0. SMH. This is some meta RP. SMH. Not even bad vibes. There are no bad vibes. The facade is so in. The war is over Livergrave. Let it be. Give him Livergrave and have at. You know, the war. Keep it contained. You know, retake your imperial land and let it be that. Let that be that. He's just some old dude to the world. Is he even that old? Yeah, he's just an old dude. He's 77. I mean, the bad vibes they're feeling are being absolutely murdered to hell by an 11 shock general. Those are the bad vibes. What world is this? This is Anbennar, a fantasy world made for EU4 that includes things like totally not vampires, gnolls and elves and dwarves and stuff. It's beautiful, glorious. And this is the world. Lovely little world. Or huge world. Deep world. Beautiful world. So we just wait now to see where the diplomacy falls here. Will there be a peace deal? How do, my human brothers? Exactly. Thanks for explaining. There is more that I could explain. Of course, like the world has a lot of depth and lore to it, but I would say my recommendation would be to go and check out the wiki page and to go and check out their Steam page, and I'll send a link in chat now. Oh, perfect. Thank you for the wiki. And there is their Steam page and also their Discord. There's some vital communications going on right now, I'm sure. Yeah, but I will say after this war, I'm actually gonna have to end my stream. But the game will go on for another hour, but unfortunately I won't be able to be here. So we're gonna see the end of this war, and then I'm gonna have to end, unfortunately. But there will be more next week, of course. I will be casting again. And yeah, I thoroughly look forward to it. I didn't manage to get as many interviews in as I was hoping for. But I'll have a list of people, of course, that I do still want to interview. And, you know, we got next week as well. There are plenty of devs in here with interesting insights that we can glean from. You have 2 years to try and conquer the whole world, only with Tunisia. I've never... I mean, I attempted a world conquest once with France, and I gave up because I was bored. World conquest isn't really my vibe. Yeah, I wish I could listen in and see what's going on. I feel like it might be a case of we'll let you live if Ravenmarch also gets pieced out, because this is the deal, right? There are 3 separate wars here and another couple of separate wars here. Like, there are... If we look at, like, a Scanderbeg after the fact, this war is, like, 6 separate wars, which is crazy and really hard to keep track of. So it might be a case that the negotiations are, we will piece you out for this as long as you also piece out this and this and this, and... Because if Corvair just pieces out with Istralor, Ravenmarch dies. Just straight up, they're dead. Viacok dies. Like, these are the facts, right? They just die. So, I guess it might be a case of, like, trying to make sure that everyone gets what they want. Targwen, I hope Ravenmarch dies. The scepter was found, so there's a couple of years until a Reformation event fires as well. Is there fake Protestantism yet? Soon, apparently, yeah. They found the scepter in... I think it's in Graxar, I think is where it is. So soon there will be, you know, blood raining from the sky, everyone getting real sad. All of that kind of deal is going to happen. And yeah, we'll have Coronite fire soon. I'm not sure what the current deal is with Coronite in the Age of Greentide. Whether I know they used to have like plus 30 shock damage just for being Coronite. I don't know if that's still the case or not. I do not know. Easy way to avoid the problems is pray to Dukan. I mean, you say that, but Dukan ain't exactly the most healthy people to pray to. I'm not gonna lie. He might have, you know, created the orcs, but he also kind of created other problems. Like, all of the problems. Good old Dukaniel. Exactly. what vampire? 100%. I'm sorry. It is fail RP to know that the vampires are real. Like, it just is. His facade is intact. It was Jelly Cow playing Newshire. Okay. What the fuck is a kilometer? No, what the fuck is a vampire? Oh, Pomvason became a vassal now of Unix. It's fail happy to know what the sun is. I mean, considering you are completely confined to the mountains, yeah, no, that's fair. But yeah, there is no peace deal available that would remove the vampire. There just isn't. If there was to be an unconditional surrender to Istralor, what could be taken? Oh, Famalam, just do it. Just unconditionally surrender. He literally can take 4 provinces. 5, sorry. I don't know. I would just do it. I would just do it. Corvuria knows he is a vampire. I do find it funny that even in the developer clash, rule arguments are still just they're a thing. They are just always going to be a thing, no matter if it's the developers playing or whether it's just random nobodies. It's always going to be rule arguments. Gotta love it. It's people are people. Evidence for that here. Can't they find the coffin if he uncons? No. He is not a Witch King. So they don't know. There is no knowledge that Istral has that he's a Witch King. If he was a Witch King, then there would be a peace option for removing evil in here. But it's not there. I'd say no on the white piece, right? Because the war was declared as a Empire Reclamation, right? Imperial Ban CB. So, really, that's what should happen. I suppose they could, like, release a Shenyande or Wardia, Ublik's Child. Like, that could be a thing that they do as well. But really, Corvair should be looking at what the potential peace deals are and just go with, like, that. You should see it. Just uncon. Just Sarenvar has to white piece? That would be funny. Yeah, no, I'd be okay with that. Sarenvar came in for vampires? Well, I mean, tough luck. Okay, I'm curious, what team is Sarenvar on? Sarenvar is being played by Bojnik. There was a Saladrenin on the writers team. I don't think it was them. I'm not sure. Can't remember who formed Sarenvar. And I don't see the actual name in here, so... Who's his allies? Allied with Israel Silverforge, Sesterande. Okay, so that'll tell me more. They're on the Canor team. But there is no one on the Canor team playing in the Deepwoods. So, I don't know. Your stance is send more people to their deaths? Yeah, there we go. I don't think I have a problem with what Azure Expedition did. You know, he's, helping out his team. That's fine. But I'm not sure what Sarenvar's deal is. I don't know what team they're on. I can't see them in the team list. It looks like they're on Team Canor, based on their alliances. So, I mean, I guess I have no problem with it, but, like, I don't know. The RP be weird. Let's see if I can find... Like, there is a big chat with a bunch of people in it where they're all probably just shouting and arguing at each other. Who knows? But yeah, I don't really want to enter it. But something has got to happen. Soon. We're all just pretty annoyed. Yeah, I can imagine. I would say... My issue would be gunning for the capital. I mean, it's fine. Gunning for the capital is something you would do in any war. But it was done for, not because, take the capital. It's a great way of getting war score. It was done for, he's a vampire, we gotta get rid of the vampire. It's like you don't... It's not actually... You have no idea that it is a vampire. Also, 5 teams ganking against 2 teams. Also, I guess there is an element of, like, that kind of sucks. I've not really been paying attention to the team-based element of it, and it's kind of difficult for me to, like, see what the teams are. So that's where I can't really comment on it. But yeah, I mean, just looking at this map, I would say it's not balanced. If Sarenvar Ravenmatch weren't involved, or if their nations were, like, swapped for Koboldzan and, like, Vertesk, I'd say it probably would be pretty balanced. Apparently there's a dispute over the war goal. You're having negotiations with the war leads for a world war. You are already... Oh, I think one of the wars got peace out. Why are you black flagged? Oh, no. You've been given a siege so that you can unblack flag. Fair enough. Why is Sarhal taking Korakuk over a problem? It's not a problem. But I think from my point of view, like, Corvuria's facade is... Like, there's no suspicion whatsoever. So a bunch of the arguments that I've seen in chat about, we gotta kill the vampire, whatever, kind of rings a bit hollow, because that is fail RP, right? They have no idea that there is a vampire. They're bullying Corvuria or Corinvar. One of these. Because they can end up with 140 plus discipline. Yeah, I mean, Ibavar can as well. Every single E4 lobby turns into World Wars. True. You meant Corvuria, okay. Because, I mean, the word that you used, Corinva, could be like, are you talking about Corinnia? Are you talking about Ibavar? Are you talking about Corvuria? And all three of them could have 140 plus disciplines. So it was totally a very intelligent, like, merger. It was a, it's a shipping team, right? Ibavar going, loving Corin instead of, like, elven gods. I suppose they're region court, actually, so... Ibavar going with Corin. Definitely Corinvar. Corvuria allied with Corinta. Corinvuria. Corinvuria, yeah. Half of Forbidden Plains team is already in the war, but only with like half the people, because for some reason teams don't have their proper alliances set up. Yeah, I mean, like the fact that there's like 3 different wars going on is painful, I guess. And who is joining now? Arekiprun. Okay. What's my favorite type of cheese? Cheddar or Edam? I'm pretty basic. What's the war about? The original war is Imperial Ban. Corvuria has 4 Imperial provinces. But that's their war goal. But they're also trying to, like, it looks like, claim anti-vampirism. But they have no idea that there is a vampire, so that's why it rings a little hollow. They're fail RPing just a smudge. All he knows is, they reduce the research regulations. That doesn't mean there's a vampire. So I do kind of feel for Corvuria here. I'm somewhat biased to their position. A real-time EU4, basically. Yeah, like, Iodine getting involved, but, like, they're involved in the war only against Ovdoltungur. So I guess he's gone with Busalar. So, yeah, I don't know. Teams always make for very complicated situations, and I feel like this is one of them. Made things quite awkward. Large MPs always go like that. I remember Paradox hosting their castle game and having a whole alternative IRL agreement thing. Yeah, I mean, it's possible, but, like, alliance rules, no alliance rule has ever, like, solved the issues, but not having alliance rules also doesn't solve anything. Oh, this is a good question from Amanda. What Anbennar race do you think is the hottest? That's a question for chat. Are we fans of the gnomes? Are we halfling enjoyers? Humans? Kind of basic. Do we like orcs? Mandated half-orc waifu? Are you a harpy enjoyer? Elves? Yeah, if you're basic. Kobolds. Fucking kobold. Frost trolls. God damn. Okay, look, I was being pretty vanilla. Has Ibavar expanded that much? They took a little bit of land in the north. I suppose I could look at timeline. Nothing else going on. There we go. I won't play the timeline, though, because I think that might desync. So, there we go. That's what they used to be. Oh, was that a peace deal that I just heard coming through? No. Amanda likes the goblins. Sure. You respectfully disagree with them expanding much. I disagree with them expanding at all. Stay in your lane. Look, if it was a private conversation, you wouldn't have said it in chat for me to read out. Just saying. I think elves. Yeah, I'm gonna be basic. I'm gonna be a basic bitch. Like me some elves. That's it. I'm sold on the elves. Of course you'd fucking elf. Look! 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 Of course. I might be basic, but, you know, it is what it is. You're disappointed. Alright, no, I'm not changing my answer. I'm let me guess her name ends with Celadora. Look, Celadora, the first bursar, Tanshwiz is girl boss, elf, waifu. She is giga-based. They spelled her name wrong here, but she is giga-based. I'm a Celadora simp, for sure, 100%. Also, Verena Eska, not half bad. But she's human. For quite a bit of your playthrough. Catchy name on the air. Brizarton. Very nice. Look, Cursorix, I don't care for your lies. Celadora's his based name. He still will cede all of Bulwa to Port Nam. What? I don't think that's true. Arena kinda bony. Alyssa is also very, you know, kinda cold, you know. But there's more potential elven waifus. The what's the province, the country called? Gemrad Kurt apparently has a female ruler as well. It's like really cool. I really want to play them at some point. But soon coming to a conclusion. I just want to see the conclusion. I want to see the conclusion. Sartanch is doing well. Taking this like basically said that this land is mine. But you know they're allies. They're on the same team. No, they're not on the same team. But their teams are allied. So yeah, all of this will be going to Sartanch's. Where are they at in regards to forming the Phoenix Empire? 72 provinces. 72 provinces. They can get another 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe some land up here. I don't think Sartanch's is forming Phoenix. I really don't. Sariand, I think, is even further away. They're at 73. There is potential here for land bit down here as well. Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be Sariand. They've taken too much land for Sartanch's to still be in the running. Sadly, Orcs have barely any content, and the one Escan nation is bad. I think it has a bad map color. That, like, yellowy, sickly color is not my favorite. But, yeah, kind of just waiting for this peace deal now. We'll see what happens with it. The negotiations clearly very fierce. Drumroll for verdict. Oh, it's coming. It's coming. What have we got? What's going to happen here? And who is sending the peace deal? Hertog reference on the stream? I don't know who Hertog is. Probably not. Oh, he's going off the Discord messages. Okay. Alright then. Actually, I think I have heard of Hertog. I can't remember who or what it is, though. The name rings a bell. Carrier pigeon is the only way to send messages. Get the verdict posted on Reddit. Yeah, that would be nice. Gotta know it. Let's have a look. See if I can see anything on the Discord. Okay, so some elements of the Empire Nation are still arguing that they should know that it was a vampire because of the insane general. Not sure I'd agree with that. See what happens here. But I don't know. I feel like there shouldn't be too much in the way of, like, dispute here. The war goal was Imperial ban. Just take your Imperial provinces, and that's it. Like, that would be my ruling. Any argument about a vampire is purely, like, RP fail. Like, I don't think there's any argument you can make to be like, ah, yes, but we should be able to kill the vampire as well. No, you shouldn't. You have no idea that there is a vampire. Quit while you're ahead. The Imperials are coping. I feel like there's a bit of cope on both sides, right? Because the cope from Corvuria, Nushar, Carinia is that they were ganked by, like, there's a way more people on the enemy side. And for specifically from Corvuria, I'd say that people are trying to get rid of his vampire is certainly RP fail. Straight up. That is RP fail. So I can see definitely where the cope is coming from there. 100%. And I feel like, for the most part, I'm in agreement with that as a cope. A fellow cope enjoyer. On the Imperial side, I don't really vibe with what their cope is. They should be allowed to get rid of the vampire because they fought it. I don't know if this is actually, like, what the cope is. The Corvuria is not surrendering, quite the opposite. Is it a case of Corvuria wanting to piece out elements, but not all? And maybe they're trying to save Ravenmarch as well. It's a rule thing. I wonder what rule... Because I don't think I have access to the rules. So it could be that I'm just not seeing which rule was violated. But apparently I will be informed later about what is going on. But yeah, right now I am indeed confused. I don't know what's happened. But I guess I will leave them to determine it. But it is very funny to me. Or funny isn't really the right word. It's like, it's humanizing in a way. Because the devs are still people. And I've experienced, like, similar levels of, like, rule lawyery, rule disputey copage, in my own games. And it's just kind of heartwarming to know that, oh, it's not just because it's my community. Everyone is exactly the same. Humans are humans, whether you're a developer or not. It is humanizing. Ain't no one above a bit of cope. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to see the end of this because I do need to go. So yeah, I am going to bid you all adieu, and I will hopefully see you all next week. I will, at the start of next week's stream, I will let you guys know what the situation was that I'm able to share. I don't know if I'll be able to share everything. I'll let you know what happened. I'll show peace deal and all of that kind of stuff. So if you want to see more Anbennar DevClash, please hit the follow button, and I will see you guys next week. But unfortunately, I do have to go now. So thank you all very much for watching, and yeah, toodaloo, bye-bye.